มาครับเพื่อนๆสวัสดีนะครับสวัสดีนะครับเพื่อนๆพี่สวัสดีสวัสดีก็อาร์เซนอลวิลล่านะครับเพื่อนๆเจอกับแมนซิตี้นะเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามด้วยครับเพื่อนๆเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ด้วยฝากกดติดตามด้วยอาร์เซนอลเตะพรุ่งนี้แล้วอาร์เซนอลเราเตะพรุ่งนี้ใช่ไหมเตะพรุ่งนี้อาร์เซนอลวันนี้แอสตันวิลล่านะสนุกนะเพื่อนวันนี้สนุกอะไรรู้ป่ะลุ้นเลยอ่ะมันอ่ะลุ้นกันแบบคู่นี้มันแน่นอนเพราะอะไรอ่ะลุ้นพื้นที่ยูฟ่าแชมเปี้ยนลีกไงสนุกอยู่แล้วผมว่าวันเนี้ยมาเพื่อนครับสวัสดีนะครับเพื่อนสวัสดีอีกครั้งอย่างเป็นทางการนะครับเพื่อนๆก็วันนี้นะครับเจ้าบ้านนะครับแมนซิตี้นะเปิดต้อนรับการมาเยือนของแอสตันวิลล่านะเพื่อนๆเดี๋ยวเรามาดู11ผู้เล่นตัวจริงกันทั้งสองทีมนะสวัสดีนะครับเพื่อนๆเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามด้วยวันนี้เรามาเจอกันดึกตี 2นะมาเดี๋ยวเรามาดูรายชื่อ11ผู้เล่นตัวจริงกันก่อนเลยนะครับเพื่อนๆมาเจ้าบ้านนะครับมาในแผน4-2-3-1นะครับประตูเป็นออเตก้านะครับผู้เซนเตอร์วันนี้ใช้กวาดิโอกับดีอาร์ตนะแบ็คขวาวันนี้ใช้ไอ้นูนเนสนะแบ็คซ้ายใช้โอไลลี่นะกองกลาง2คนก็โคสิตกับกุนโดกันนะครับวันนี้ปีกซ้ายใช้แม็กอาร์ตี้นะปีกขวาใช้เบนาโดซิวากลางลุกใช้เควินเดอะบอยแล้วก็หน้าเป้าใช้มาลมูดนะครับส่วน แอสตันวิลล่านะมาในแผน4-2-3-1เหมือนกันประตูเป็นมาร์ติเนสนะครับคู่เซนเตอร์เป็นคอนซ่ากับตอเรสนะทั้งขวานี่แบตตี้แคสนะทางซ้ายลูก้าดีนนะครับกองกลาง2คนวันนี้ใช้กามาล่ากับโอนาน่านะครับปีกซ้ายใช้แลมซี่ปีกขวาโรเจอร์นะครับกลางลุกยูริเตเลมันแล้วก็หน้าเป้ามาคัตและฟอร์ดตัวเทพนะครับนี่อยู่ไงล่ะ5 นัดหลังสุดนะของซิตี้นี่ชนะมา4 นัดนะเสมอ1ส่วนแอสตันวิลล่านะครับชนะ4แพ้ไป1นะครับเพื่อนๆนะเดี๋ยวดูไอตัวสำคัญนะตัวสำรองมานะอย่างของแมนซิตี้นะตัวสำรองวันนี้มีแชวินโยฟิลโฟเดนดูกูแจ็คกิลิตนะกอนซาเลสลูอิสอาคันจี้อย่างเงี้ยครับเพื่อนส่วนของตัวหลักๆนะอย่างแอสตันวิลล่านะครับก็มีโอลีวัสกินนะครับมาแลนลอสบัคลีย์อาเซนซิโอแม็กกินนะครับแล้วก็มาเซนนะแล้วก็เดซาซี่อย่างเงี้ยเพื่อนก็ประมาณนี้ครับส่วนของตัวเจ็บของซิตี้นะก็ยังมีประตูนะมีเอเดสันนะครับจอห์นโซนนาธานาเก้โรดี้แล้วก็เออร์ลิงมาฮาแลนด์นะคู่นี้นะ5 นัดหลังสุดที่เจอกันนะ5 นัดหลังสุดนะครับที่เจอกันแอสตันวิลล่าชนะไป2นะครับซิตี้ชนะ2แล้วก็เสมอ1นะเพื่อนก็สูสีอ่ะเพื่อนคู่เนี้ย5 นัดหลังสุดเจอกันนี่สูสีกันแน่นอนอ่ะไม่ธรรมดาคู่เนี้ยผมว่านะไม่ธรรมดาจริงๆอะเกมนี้สำคัญสุดๆเลยเพราะอะไรรู้ป่าวเพื่อนๆมันสำคัญดิเพราะแม่งลุ้นศึกยูฟ่าแชมเปี้ยนลีกกันทั้งคู่อะร้อนลุ้นกันทั้งคู่อะเดี๋ยวต้องดูอีกทีหนึ่งว่าเนี่ยครับเพื่อนๆมันลุ้นตารางคะแนนแบบลุ้นตารางคะแนนแบบด้วยเพื่อน กอซิตี้นะอยู่อันดับที่5นะครับแข่ง33นัดมี58คะแนนส่วนแอสตันวิลล่า33นัดมี57คะแนนนะนัดนี้คือใครชนะนี่มีโอกาสสูงเลยอะพุ่งสูงเลยโอกาสมีโอกาสพุ่งสูงเลยสวัสดีนะครับพี่รักนี้นะครับเมงกราบาครับสวัสดีนะครับเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามด้วยนะครับก็ค่อนข้างที่จะดูเดือดคู่นี้ลุ้นพื้นที่ยูฟ่าแชมเปี้ยนลีกกันแบบดุแน่เลยใครชนะนี่ผมว่ามีโอกาสที่จะได้พื้นที่ยูฟ่าแชมเปี้ยนลีกแบบเต็มตัวเลยเนี่ยเพื่อนนะครับประมาณนี้ครับเดี๋ยวเรามาดูในเกมกันว่าในเกมจะมีอะไรขึ้นบ้างนะคืนพรุ่งนี้นี่มีนี่นะเพื่อนคืนพรุ่งนี้อาร์เซนอลคริสตัลพาเลซนะวันนี้เราดูแมนซิตี้ไปก่อนพรุ่งนี้เราค่อยมาดูอาร์เซนอลกันนะครับมาเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยในช่องแชทไม่ให้โหวตนั้นเพื่อนพี่เชียร์ทีมไหนก็โหวตทีมนั้นนะครับสวัสดีนะเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดถูกใจกดไลค์ให้ด้วยสนุกคู่นี้ไม่ต้องห่วงหรอกพี่ผมว่านะไม่ง่วงแน่นอนผมว่าคู่นี้ไม่ง่วงหรอกดูทรงก็น่าจะซัดกันยับนาทีแล้วนี่ฟอร์มโคตรดีเลยซาวิล่าคิดดูดิแม่งกดนิวคาสเซิลมายับเลยเพื่อน4-1อ่ะนัดที่ผ่านมาของแมนซิตี้ก็ชนะเอเวอร์ตันมา2-0นะครับโหดจัดเลยอ่ะนาทีแล้วของซาวิล่ามาครับมามูดเดอะบอยเบนโดซิลวาแม็กอาร์ตี้นะครับมีโอไลลี่อย่างเงี้ยโอวาสิตแหมฟอร์มดีนะช่วงนี้ฟอร์มดีนูนเนสก็ฟอร์มดีเหมือนกันเพื่อนรอแป๊บหนึ่งนะครับพี่บอลใกล้เริ่มแล้วมาแล้วเริ่มแล้วมาแล้วไปลุยบอลกันเชียร์บอลครับเพื่อนไปยิงเรียบร้อยโอ้โหไอ้เชียร์แรดฟอร์ดโอ้โหแรดฟอร์ดไอ้เชียโคตรหน้าเข้าเลยแรดฟอร์ดไม่เข้าได้ไงอ่ะ30 วิโอ้โหแม่เหี้ยชนเสาแม่งไม่โดนเหลี่ยมในซะด้วย
That would be the inference, wouldn't it, from the team selection anyway. Kevin De Bruyne to take this corner. There's a man down at the near post, and the referee has allowed the corner to be taken. It's headed away by Villa. And comes back near the halfway line. Kovacic collects and looks over to that left-hand side where De Bruyne took the corner from. He's now collected the ball. Marmoush looking for a darting run between defenders. Keeps the ball. O'Reilly's moved on the inside, allowing space to De Bruyne go on the outside. Puts a cross in. It's a fairly aimless one though. From the Belgian, goes all the way out the other side for a throw-in.
It wasn't great that by De Bruyne, was it? Of course, we know he's going to be out of City at the end of the season, but fabulous against Crystal Palace, almost making a point, suggesting he wants to stay in the Premier League. It's towed through to Rashford, seeing it again. He just every right bar hit the target, really, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think he does really well to get it onto his left foot, and he strikes pretty truly beyond the goalkeeper. He just comes back off the woodwork and strikes the goalkeeper. Should it come back to him, he might have had a chance of the rebound there, but it went straight back to the goalkeeper. 2.5 minutes gone, 0-0 at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City have been given a warning, and they have the ball now with Bernardo Silva. Tries to poke it on towards McAtee. This one's intercepted by Dean, and now Onana knocks it off McAtee's legs. Wins a throw in. Yeah, the strength in Villa's squad is remarkable. You look at the two benches tonight for this game, and you can say that Villa have the stronger bench, which is testament to how well Unai Emery's done with the the sporting director Monchi and
ดูดิเพื่อนลูกของแรดฟอร์ดอ่ะนี่คนน่าเข้าอ่ะ
to build this squad and challenge for Champions League football, because when you go to the Etihad Stadium you've got a stronger bench than Manchester City. You're doing something right.
Yes.
น่าเข้าจัดแต่มันเฉียวไม่เข้า
Monchi really built those 3 Europa League successes at Sevilla, didn't they? But did a really good line in finding young players and spinning them. Jacob Ramsey, an academy product. But Morgan Rogers, I think, was most impressive. Came through at Man City. Guardiola said he trained with the first team a few times and was incredible at times, but it weren't quite sure. But since going on loan spells, and then Middlesbrough, wasn't it? Joining Aston Villa last January. He's an England international, which says it all.
Wouldn't be the only young player that Pep Guardiola's dropped the ball on. Cole Palmer, anybody? There's a chance in the penalty area now for Villa, and it's a bit of a clumsy bit of work there for City before Bernardo Silva hoofs it away, but they're not convincing at the back at the moment, Manchester City. And you look at the goals conceded column they've had this season. It's been a consistent problem throughout the campaign.
Yeah, not great. Injuries haven't helped, have they? John Stone seems forever injured at the moment. Nathan Aki's had his problem. Oscar Guardiola.
Full of season, and that's what matters, as De Bruyne has it now. Playing it back
เอ้า
to Diaz.
ผมว่าแม่งแอสตันวิลล่าก็ฟอร์มดี
Guardiola, the left-sided central defender. Then to O'Reilly, who's
จริงอ่ะ
taking the touchline on that flank. He now gets moving forward with his socks not quite rolled down, but sort of Jack Grealish style, only just covering very small shin pads. Now with Gundogan, he's got the longer sock there, very much sporting the older midfielder's fashion. As the ball goes out wide now to Savinho on the right, back in to De Bruyne, and the Brazilian takes over again, knocks it back to the halfway line. Villa just sitting deep and now pushing out in this out-of-shape formation, 4-2-3-1. Back with Gvardiol, the Croatian. Now with Diaz on the halfway line. Now they're looking for a run of Marmoush through the middle. It's aimed towards him. He flicks it on, and McAtee will try and make something of it down by the corner flag. Knocks it back to Savinho. Waits for the support to arrive corner of the box, and it's Bernardo Silva. Portuguese now takes a touch, moves away from Onana, plays it centrally to Kovacic.
แอสตันวิลล่าแม่งโหดอ่ะเพื่อนเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดตามด้วยเพื่อนนะครับเพื่อนๆก็ใครจะซัพพอร์ตนะคิวโค้ดที่ขึ้นอยู่ทางหน้าจอซัพพอร์ตกันมาได้นะครับเพื่อน
Reverse ball into Gundogan, back to Bernardo Silva, and now Diaz. City working the space over to the right now again. Back inside 1-2 again with the two Portuguese players. Now wide to Savinho. McAtee's run's ignored as it goes back. Again, City happy to recycle possession. Villa not over-pressing here. They're just sitting in their defensive shape. Again, City will have lots of possession. Now they'll try something more ambitious with a chip pass out to the left-hand side, brought down by Marmoush, who takes on Cash, goes on the outside of him, puts it in low to the near post. There could be a chance for Bernardo Silva. Great save. No, it's in. Bernardo Silva's effort was too powerful. Martinez couldn't keep it out, and Manchester City have the lead.
Oh, it was like a video game there, Marmoush, wasn't he? Inside, outside, down the left-hand side, playing it across. It came to Bernardo Silva, who fired home. I think questions of Emi Martinez. He's diving to his left-hand side, but for me, he's got to save that, Simon. He's diving. What's the question? He's asking the referee, Craig Pawson, and he's trying to spare his blushes there.
ลูเบนดิอาร์ออกขวาลูเนสนี่แม่งไอ้นี่อ่ะเพื่อนยืนไปขวายาวเลยอ่ะน่าเสียดายจังหวะแรดฟอร์ดอ่ะเพื่อนแรดฟอร์ดแม่งยิงเข้าไปนะหูสนุกเลยตั้งแต่ครึ่งนาทีแรกอ่ะเอาแล้วกวาดิโอเปิดออกไปเอาละมามูดเลี้ยงไปสุดเส้นแล้วเปิดเข้าไปเอาเรียบร้อยไหมเรียบร้อยเลยโอ้โหเพื่อน1-0เลยเพื่อนเบนนาโดซิงวาโอ้มาร์ติเนสพลาดในลูกนี้เพื่อนปัดไม่ออก
messed up that whole move by standing in front of the goalkeeper, so he's got himself behind the line where he actually can't affect the play to avoid that. So City lead 1-0, and I don't think that's going to get overturned by VAR.
โอ้โหหน้าไอ้นี่มากอ่ะเพื่อนต้องชมมอมูดมากเลยอ่ะมอมูดแม่งล่าไปสุดเส้นจัดเลย
up, I think, actually, from Manchester City this evening. It's almost a 4-2-4 with Marmoush from the left.
เนี่ยเพื่อนๆเป็นจังหวะดีอาร์ตเปิดไปแล้วมามุดล่าไปสุดเส้นแล้วตบเข้าในมาโอ้โหมันสกัดไปเข้าทางนี่ครับเป็นมามุดพาลากไปเนี่ยแล้วก็ตบเข้าในมาโดนใครอ่ะโอ้โหโดนคอนซ่าเพื่อนเรียบร้อยครับได้ประตูจากเบรนโดซิงวาครับ
As Tielemans now goes down with a head injury, or the ball just caught him on the head, and the referee does eventually stop play as the ball goes out anyway for a throw on the far side, and allow the Belgian midfielder to get some treatment.
เรียบร้อย1-0
The home side. Tielemans looks to be a little bit. I think the ball's probably hit him in the eye or something like that, or hit him in the face. I don't think it's.
นี่หนักละซิตี้บี้กระจายแล้วครับคะแนนแบบเรียลไทม์นี่ซิตี้แซงแล้วนะนี่ครับซิตี้จะมี66คะแนนแล้วขึ้นที่3เลยครับโอ้โหยังโหดตามอาร์เซนอล5แต้มเท่านั้นเองนะเพื่อน
technical area, scratching his head, but well, Villa have won 2 of the last 3 meetings with Manchester City, but they've actually lost the last 14 visits to the Etihad, which obviously doesn't bode well. The keeper seeing it down, and he actually hits his right leg as left leg actually, and it comes off his foot and scrambles in. Yeah, I think he's got to do better. It's quite a tame effort, isn't it?
It's a bit of untidy goalkeeping, isn't it, from a man who will have such high standards. The 2-time Lev Yashin Award winner. So that one I think could probably be. The blame can be laid a little bit at his door, but also you've got to credit the work done by in the build-up. As City now with the ball at the back, go long through Gvardiol, trying to pick out Marmoush, who's got pace to burn, but the ball just eludes him and goes out for a throw-in down that City left-hand side. But you're right, he's definitely playing more as a winger, isn't he? More as a left side centre forward in this game. Maybe false 9 sort of situation.
ที่มาร์ติเนสโอ้โหตรงตัวไม่น่าเชื่อโอ้ยเฮียปัดไปโดนขาตัวเองเข้าไอ้เฮีย
Savinho, they'll probably prefer to play from wide and cut in. And I think Marmoush is probably in
What's
that
the way
role
there,
too. He has played down the middle for Frankfurt and since he's joined City, but he does look a bit happy in that extra space on the left-hand side. It's great play to turn Matty Cash inside and out. There's no real answer from the Polish international as he provided the assist for the goal. And yeah, he just looks a bit more balanced.
Haaland.
Well, certainly it's worked for City so far. We'll see if they can get it to produce more dividends as they have the ball at the back now with Gvardiol. Wide to O'Reilly. Closed down there by Villa's Rogers, who's not really been a part of the game.
Haaland นั่งหน้าเศร้าอยู่
Back to Kovacic. Kovacic now faces forward, finds Bernardo.
Haaland บอกว่าเมื่อไหร่กูเจ็บตลอดฤดูกาลเลย Haaland.
Nunes brings it down. Nunes down the line to McAtee. McAtee making a willing run towards a corner.
พี่ว่าใครจะชนะ
Torres with him. Still with the
แต่ผมว่าน่าจะสนุกอะ
Nunes looking for a 1-2 with De Bruyne, flicked over the top. McAtee might get on the end of this, but off his line quickly. Martinez together.
That was a ball few people saw from De Bruyne there, just trying to lift it with his the outside of his right boot. McAtee looking to follow up, well played by Martinez, straight off his line. It was maybe a bit strong. Villa had a great start to the game, hitting the post.
มาแล้ว
City.
เมคเคทีแม็กอาร์ตี้เอาละสวยเดอะบอยเดอะบอยไม่ได้
City coming from deep position now with Bernardo Silva. It's a square to Gvardiol. Gvardiol looking up, seeing Tielemans in front of him, plays it square to Diaz. Diaz now hitting long into the channel. That was one for Nunes to try and bring down, but he couldn't quite pull it off, and it goes out off his boot for a Aston Villa throw. Long throw in, looking for Tielemans, who's got behind Bernardo Silva as he was trying to knock it towards Rashford. Bernardo Silva recovered his position, blocked the pass, and goes out for a throw in front of the dugouts, which Dina takes. Goes back to Torres, and now to Martinez. Full press on from City now. Marmoush engaging with Konsa, who lost the ball. Marmoush has done well, knocks it back to O'Reilly, edge of the box, and now Gundogan. Gundogan just holding it up, faced up by Kamara, goes inside to Kovacic. Kovacic now within shooting distance here, but he's going to roll it back to Bernardo instead.
ซาวิล่าผมว่าสู้ได้จริงๆ
Looks a bit isolated on this right hand side, just knocks it back to Bernardo.
โอ้ครึ่งนาทีแรกเกือบจริงอะ Redford.
Gvardiol and O'Reilly. O'Reilly's got options. One of them is further wide with Marmoush, who's again got Cash on toast as he knocks it inside to Gundogan. Back to O'Reilly again. Now Gvardiol plays it wide. De Bruyne popping up on the left-hand side. The interchanging of positions, very slick from Manchester City so far. They lead 1-0 through that Bernardo Silva goal. A slight error from Martinez. As City have it again, centre circle, work wide to Nunes, former Wolves man I should say, knocks it back, it's a mistake from him, gives it away to Rashford. Rashford gets his head down, starts running into City territory. He's got support inside from Ramsey if he can find him. He looks for Ramsey, who goes inside the box. Ramsey goes down looking for a penalty and the referee says no. There looked to be contact for me. Ruben Dias, arms raised, says he didn't touch him. And now we'll see whether the VAR wants to intervene.
Yeah, we will do indeed. Great play by Rashford down the left-hand side. He was isolated there, but he ran towards his colleagues. Decent first touch, I thought, by Ramsey. And it looked a bit untidy from Diaz, but also appeared maybe that Ramsey
ใจเย็นเอาแล้วแรดฟอร์ดไป แรดฟอร์ด แรดฟอร์ดไปแล้ว
has not stopped the game yet, so City still in possession, but now in the Villa half.
เฮ้ยจานจุดโทษ
And they have it with Bernardo.
จุดโทษจุดโทษจุดโทษ
He goes back to Gvardiol, and now the referee is stopping the game. So this is because he's been told to go and look at this on the monitor. I thought there was contact initially when I saw it. It looked very quick, but it looked like Ramsey had gone down under Diaz's challenge, which was definitely contact. That seems to be what VAR have seen, and they're sending the referee over to the monitor.
Yeah, it was Nunes who overran the ball at first. He's chasing back. Ramsey's there. It's a great first touch, and it's a stone wall, isn't it? It has to be a penalty kick there. Ruben Dias runs right through the back of Ramsey almost.
เฮ้ยจุดโทษดู VAR ว่ะเพื่อนๆอ้าวชิบหายแล้วไงเอาแล้ว
Tonight, experienced Premier League referee.
ว้าว
He's got a good angle actually. I'm surprised he's not seen that live because he's got an unobstructed view of the sandwiching, and here he comes. He gives the penalty now. So VAR working well there, but Craig Pawson. I thought he would have had a better view of maybe seeing that live.
Well, in his defence, it's a foul, but Ramsey takes half a step and then drifts to the floor rather than falls to the floor.
มันไหลแล้วไงเพื่อน
Maybe
he's within his rights to go down, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a foul. There's no doubt.
He's impeded.
It's just the way he goes, maybe the motion in which he goes down. But it's totally the correct call. And Ruben Dias, well, he seems to be suggesting it's not a penalty, but
จุดโทษว่ะเฮียเพื่อนเอาแล้วได้จุดโทษครับเพื่อนๆซาวิล่าได้จุดโทษนะครับเป็นแรมซี่โอ้โหฟาว
They don't like to replay them in front of, well, A, the crowd, because they could get a little bit antsy with the referee, and B, the players, who clearly have got antsy because Ruben Dias has a very different opinion of how that one should have been decided. Anyway, it is a penalty. There's been a long delay, and maybe Diaz's plan was to try and just get in the head of Marcus Rashford here and delay the penalty being taken.
Perhaps wouldn't be the
เอาเฮ้ยโวยวายครับโวยวายครับไม่ต้องโวยจุดโทษก็คือจุดโทษวะทั้งมัน
That means he scored 8 of them as well, so he's going to be confident.
Ortega, the goalkeeper, in all orange, bouncing up down on the line. Referee Pawson blows the whistle. Rashford then has missed a couple of penalties in his last 10. He's got a very straight run up. He'll curve that round now to get it onto his right foot, looking at the goalkeeper all the time, and he just slides it to the left of him. Ortega moves to the right, and it's 1-1.
Yeah, well played by Rashford. He kept his cool there, didn't he? That's stuttering run up, working into the angle he wanted, waited for Ortega to move. Maybe the weight just went onto the German's right foot as he dived.
เฮ้ยแรดฟอร์ดเหรอแรดฟอร์ดยิงเลยเหรอเพื่อนแรดฟอร์ดมาคัดแรดฟอร์ดยิงแล้วยิงไหมยิงไปทางไหนยิงไปทางนู้นเรียบร้อยครับ1-1ครับเพื่อนๆโดยมาคัดแรดฟอร์ดโอ้โห แรดฟอร์ดนี่แม่งมาเกิดใหม่จริงว่ะเฮียคิดดูดิแม่งเป็นได้มาเป็นคนยิงจุดโทษอ่ะเพื่อน
in two of those counter attacks, so City do look a little bit dodgy in defence in those transition situations, which will be great news for Unai Emery if they can keep on doing that. But Pep Guardiola is spitting feathers. I think it's fair to say we've seen a replay of how he's got booked, and he was just spitting invective all around the technical area.
Yeah, not happy at all. The Catalan coach, but he knows his side are in it. Game was all going to plan for that early victory, but.
แล้วมุมดิกด้วยนะเพื่อน
He got in transition as Marmoush takes it past. Well played by Martinez. It was a loose ball. He was reaching for it, Marmoush, and Cash was trying to anticipate it going the other side of the former Frankfurt man there. It's a poor clearance initially by Martinez, won by Bernardo Silva, then stretching Marmoush almost plays it past the goalkeeper, just about does enough chaos at the back.
เรียบร้อยครับเพื่อน 1-1 แรดฟอร์ดล้างทองใช่อยู่ดีพี่
Wrecking ball, isn't he, to the Aston Villa backline? He looks so sharp tonight, doesn't he? He just anticipated that header from Bernardo Silva.
เฮ้ยมามูดคอนซ่าหัวไปก่อนเว้ย
Very nearly was punished for a second time. Pep Guardiola's yellow card confirmed on the TV screen. It's his 4th of the season. As Villa play out from the back, and Onana stabs it forward now to Thiel's great turn to get away from Kovacic, but Kovacic wins it back now, knocks it forward towards Gundogan, edge of the box here. Marmoush over on the side of the area, looking to get a shooting angle, gives it to De Bruyne instead. City back in possession with the ball, and O'Reilly. Very good opening 20 minutes of this game. Goal apiece, and chances for both teams to have scored more. McAtee now over on the left-hand side, knocks it back to Kovacic. He finds a simple out ball there to Bernardo. 20 yards of space to run into. He moves it out to the right now for Nunes.
เอาละบอลยังได้อยู่มามุดหลบไป1เอาละอยู่ที่เควินเดอะบอย Ramsey
of course who won the penalty from which
O'Reilly
equalized. City have it left again with
O'Reilly
Gvardiol into Marmoush. A little nutmeg or a little leave there which gave
Cash
a few problems. Cash though got his body in position and then goes down under it.
โดนผลักว่ะโดนผลัก
Well there Cash has got his body in the right position, turning well too.
เอาสวยเอาแล้วนูเนส
Pep Guardiola, whose assistants are actually not catching his eye out at the moment. Yes, who'd be a fourth official is probably what I'm thinking.
I don't really see what
Guardiola.
It looked like contact when I first saw it. You see from the replay, he's sandwiched. You know, he's been sandwiched there, and there's contact from Ruben Diaz. Anyway, we've moved on here. Obviously, Pep Guardiola hasn't, but the game has moved on. And City have it at the back with Diaz.
ใครหงุดหงิดวะ
Gvardiol into Bernardo Silva. Aston Villa with a bit of a press of their own at the moment. Not done much of that so far. They've been sitting back deep in their own half and trying to create transitions. But now we see this is Villa on the front foot here, looking for a second goal. Challenged by Kamara is a foul on Kovacic just on the edge of the box. So it'll be a free kick to Manchester City.
น้ำจิ้มหมูกระทะลินคืออะไรวะพี่น้ำจิ้มหมูกระทะลินอะว่าแล้วผมก็หิวว่ะเพื่อนเป็นอะไรดีวะมีมาม่าอยู่กินมาม่าได้ปะหิว
De Bruyne pretty anonymous in this game so far. That has been a bit of a a bit of a story, hasn't it, of City's season.
ครับ20 นาทีผ่านไปนะครับยังเสมออยู่ 1-1 นะเพื่อน
He's got Gundogan in the middle.
ก็
And then back heels it now to the overlapping Nunes who just
คูซานอฟผ่านไปไหนอะ
City still have it though.
ใครวะพี่คูซานอฟอะ
City move it across
คูซานอฟใครวะ
Marmoush now. Great take from him on the half turn. He faces up Cash and plays it inside to O'Reilly. Back to the Egyptian who's got his arm in a cast. Chip ball into the box for De Bruyne whose header's on target.
ลุยกันต่อ
Tame header and an easy scoop to the goalkeeper.
เอาสวยไปแล้วไม่ท่าทีโอ้ยเชี่ยสวยจัดตอกส้นสวยอ๋อกองหลังอุซเบย์อยู่ทีมอะไรเหรอ
And we've reached the midpoint of the first half at the Etihad Stadium. It's flown by. It's Manchester City 1.
อ๋อนี่ไงรู้แล้วไอ้เบอร์45กองหลังที่อยู่แมนซิตี้ใช่ไหมเนี่ยยังมีชื่อเป็นตัวสำรองอยู่เนี่ยคูซานอฟเนี่ย อับดุลคาดูอับดุลคาดิปูซานอฟตัวสำรองพี่เบอร์45โอ้โหลูกมงกับเดอะบอยเกือบได้เพื่อนเกือบได้
Martinez. We're going to see the penalty incident again on the quarter now. A great play by Rashford. Yeah, we see it looks like maybe not a deliberate trip, but a trip nonetheless.
ภาพกล้องผมมันชัดขึ้นบอลเพื่อนผมเปลี่ยนในแคปเจอร์การ์ดอะเพื่อนพี่รักนี้กล้องผมมันชัดขึ้นปะซื้อแคปเจอร์การ์ดที่มันเป็นของดีมาไอ้กล้องเนี่ยตรงเนี้ยชัดขึ้นไหมพี่กล้องผมอะที่ถ่ายหน้าผมอะน่าจะชัดขึ้นเนาะผมซื้อไอ้ตัวแคปเจอร์การ์ดที่มาเสียบกับกล้องโกโปรอ่ะมันดีขึ้นไง
Diaz was in front of Ramsey. So if Ramsey's running at him and he just stands where he is, he can't make himself invisible. He's just a sitting duck. But because he's coming in from the side and Ramsey's not running into him, then it's a penalty.
Yes, his momentum's going across the back of Ramsey, isn't it? Like you say, if it's the other way and he's goal side, that's fine.
ไปเสมอกัน1-1เนี้ยผมว่าน่าจะยาวๆอ่ะดูทรงว่าวันเนี้ยแต่ซาวิล่าก็สู้ได้ดีนะเพื่อนไม่ใช่ว่าสู้ไม่ได้นะมีโอกาสเหมือนกันเนี่ยผ่านไป20นาทีใช่ไหมผ่านไป20นาทีโอกาสยิงฝั่งละ2ครั้งแต่ซิตี้2ครั้งเข้ากรอบ2ครั้งแล้วก็วิลล่า2ครั้งเข้ากรอบ1ครั้งนะครับเพื่อนๆเป็นลูกยิงของแรดฟอร์ดอะที่น่าเข้า
injury worries really for the citizens at the moment with Erling Haaland. We've seen him in the stands on the sideline with an ankle problem. That's a good ball by Gvardiol to O'Reilly, who's 30 yards from the Villa goal, but well dealt with by Morgan Rogers. Hardly had a kick in an offensive sense so far, but a lot of running.
ไปหัวไปก่อนนะครับครึ่งทางครึ่งแรกผ่านไปนั้นเพื่อนเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามนะสวัสดีนะพี่ๆเพื่อนทุกคนนะครับสวัสดีนะครับนะอย่าลืมนะฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยถ้าวันนี้ผมรับขาไลค์ก็ไม่ต้องตกใจนะง่วงเหมือนกันแต่ก็อยากไลค์อ่ะNow Kovacic, O'Reilly's wide. Kovacic's going to have a foray forward and go for goal himself. Not a bad effort. Decent save down to his right-hand side by Martinez.
Yeah, well, you'd expect the goalkeeper to cover, but still had to be done, didn't it? I mean, it didn't really open up for Kovacic there, but he just wandered into a sort of a little bit of unguarded territory from Villa. There were two midfielders there, Anana and
คือองค์จอมทัพไทย
so he just had a bit of a slash at it, a dart at it. In the end.
แหมพี่ดูรักชาติจริงๆนะพี่รักนี้นะพี่คเนศเอ้ยโอ้โหโคสิต
That's a decent ball wide to Lucadinha. Get it out of his feet and go forward. It's in his own half. He'll work it back to Anana. That's a terrible ball by Anana. Behind Dina, out for a throw.
Yeah, he's not looked very sharp in this game.
He's
looked like he's been out for a while and he's just come back and he's a bit rusty, which may well be the case. But he needs to sharpen up pretty quickly because this is a really important game for Aston Villa, and he's not exactly letting the side down, but he does look a little bit out of place in the way that he's been untidy so far.
Yeah, Amadou Onana, 40 million signing from Everton in the summer. As once again a risky ball back by Nunes, but it reaches Diaz, who plays it across behind Gvardiol. Bernardo Silva's down. See his left shoulder. Craig Dawson stops the game.
คเนศจักรพรหมพี่คเนศพิษณุเทพจักรภพมหาเดชาโอ้สุดยอดชื่อโคตรอลังการเลย
Caught high, he was reaching for the ball behind him. Fair play to Ramsey. That puts his hands up in apology straight away. It should be one seen by the assistant, who I thought was looking straight at it, but maybe he was following Bernardo's nod down. Bernardo's pointing to his knee. I thought he got him on the shoulder. That's where he was.
Well, the mark is on his knee, so it must have been both. I think it was a dangerous challenge by Jacob Ramsey. Get all my names wrong here. Andre Onana, excuse me. But Jacob Ramsey. It was a high boot, and there's a good case for a yellow card there, which is what Bernardo is making a big song and dance about.
Yes, and see
จะโดนใบแดงเอาปะเนี่ยเพื่อน
frustrated. It'll be a drop
จังหวะ
ball
นี้
to
เบนาโด
restart.
อ่ะ
The player receives it from Craig Pawson. He does just inside City's half. They're going left to right as we look at it. It's 1-1, 28 and a bit minutes gone. Official off to studio commentary. Diaz across to Gvardiol. O'Reilly again making space down the left-hand side. Lovely road ball towards Marmoush, but Matty Cash is improving as the game's gone on. Steps in, ball, played the ball to Kamara. I don't think he wanted it. Gives it away. Now McAtee almost flicked it past Torres, but Torres just about did enough, and it wanders through to Martinez. Calms everyone down, but worry really for Aston Villa is when they do go down to walking pace, they try and play out from the back, and that's when they've been caught out on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're not set up to necessarily play out from the back, are they? They're set up to soak up pressure and hit when there is space in front of them, and
เอา
so there's a bit of a decision to be made here. You know, you've got to be very careful with the balls out from the back, and it wouldn't surprise me if they started going a bit longer just to get the ball, you know, out of the harm's way.
Yeah, they've got an out ball through Rashford, who does really well with Torres' ball towards him. Gives it to Kamara. Morgan Rogers was offside. Kamara very cleverly found Luca Digne. Good play that by the former Marseille man, because he looked up, saw everyone was offside, took an extra couple of touches, and allowed Digne to get forward. They made good territory here. Have Villa. Bernardo Silva open scoring. Rashford equalising with a penalty spot for one, fouled by Ruben Diaz. Digne's going to wind up for a long throw. It's decent territory too, and Nana doesn't quite win it. Conte gets a shot away. It's bouncing. Rogers is trying to bring it under control. He can't.
ครึ่งชั่วโมงผ่านไปนะเพื่อน
Digne.
ยังเสมอกันอยู่1-1
Ramsey, was he onside? Yes, he was, according to the official. De Bruyne plays it out. Half an hour gone. Great game so far. Once again, it looks like Dean is going to unleash this long throw.
They don't look right at the back, Manchester City. They look like they're lacking in authority back there. I think Ruben Diaz is a player who's got to really take charge of the situation. You know, he's the defensive rock, and he's just not really pulling his weight at the moment.
เอายิงโอ้โห
Eventually look to make a defensive change. Digne searching ball towards the back post. That's where Torres is. Got caught.
จะโดนเอาดิจะโดนเอา
Ahead of O'Reilly. Didn't quite work out. Well done by Marmoush, who played the ball off of Cash towards O'Reilly. Be a throw. Taken quickly by O'Reilly. Took me aback a bit there. It was one maybe a more experienced player would have gone forwards to set his side up, but he went back. And City have made hard work of playing out on their own third as Diaz
มาอีกแล้ว
drops the shoulder, comes over that
มองแล้ว
De Bruyne, McAtee and Gundogan ahead of him. So is Kovacic. Good run by Kovacic. Got McAtee to his right, Gundogan to his left. He was fouled, was he, by Tielemans? Did Tielemans win the ball? Everyone looks at Craig Pawson and a corner kick.
Yeah, it was good, as he highlighted in commentary. Very good little run there from Kovacic. He's running to space between Onana and Kamara, because they're both looking at other midfielders. So he's basically run beyond Tielemans, who should be marking him, and he just catches Tielemans asleep, and he just runs into that space, and then they've got a corner from him.
Yeah, Diaz, Gvardiol, O'Reilly on the penalty spot. Gundogan and Bernardo make their way towards the goal, putting pressure on Emi Martinez. It will be Kevin De Bruyne with the in-swing. It looks like it's going to go right underneath the crossbar. One arm up, that usually means near post. That's where he teases it to. O'Reilly's there, so is Gvardiol. Gvardiol maybe could have left it for the younger man there. He was running at the wrong angle, really, Gvardiol, as O'Reilly was attacking the ball. See, O'Reilly doesn't give him the shout. In the end, Gvardiol heads over.
Yeah, it was interesting corner routine there for Manchester City. It was quite a floated corner, wasn't it? I think, you know, for those to really work, you've got to have a lot of pace on the ball. It's got to be whipped in, and that meant that when Gvardiol got his touch, it wasn't really a problem for the goalkeeper.
They'll play out from the back to Matty Cash, back to Ezri Konsa.
ง่วงอ่ะดิพี่ของผมอ่ะ
Martinez.
จะหลับเอาดิผม
To
อะ
Konsa.
บอลก็สนุกเหลือเกินสนุกจนจะหลับอ่ะ
On the right hand side, Cash down the line to Rogers. Now cool and collected Kamara, who plays it up to Rogers again. It's really well worked by Aston Villa. Now got Ramsey in space. Rashford dropping off. Interesting this role for Rashford. I've seen that he didn't want to play centre forward for Manchester United. Really preferred to play from the left-hand side, but getting ahead of Watkins at the moment. Uses really nice link-up play.
Yeah, he's got the ability to do it, but I think for a lot of his latter career at Manchester United, you wonder if he had the appetite to do it. And maybe he felt like he didn't have the supporting cast around him at Manchester United to get him quality passes in. And certainly, I think, you know, recent results would probably vindicate that. At Villa, he's got players that can create chances. So, you know, whether he's playing out wide or
หันเพื่อนเข้ามาแล้วนะฮะเตะบอลไหมแอดไม่ได้เตะมาหลายวันแล้วครับพี่ตั้งแต่ฟุกบนขาพีก็ไม่ได้ไปเตะเลยเตะก่อนสงกรานต์ไปประมาณอาทิตย์นึงอ่ะพี่แล้วก็ไม่ได้เตะเลย
Get on the back of it, but I get the feeling we're going to see all the hits from Kevin De Bruyne over the next few weeks. If this are, well, we know it is going to be his final period of play with Manchester City. He suggests he wants to stay in the Premier League for family reasons.
เพื่อนว่าใครจะชนะล่ะพวกเนี้ยสู้เขาอ่ะตีเรียบร้อยไม่มีไรอ่ะ
Takers should be up for another one-year stint in the English top flight as O'Reilly steps in after Guardiola does well against Rashford. Then O'Reilly did really well to play behind back to Guardiola, then plays it back to him. It's a nice interplay between the two left-footed Manchester City defenders and a switch of play by Kovacic towards McAtee. Doesn't work out. Ramsey isolated, tackled by Nunes. De Bruyne is then caught late by Digne. It's play on. No, it's not. The referee is going to book Luca Digne, who is, well, not a stranger to a yellow card. It was a clumsy one, really, by the Frenchman. He wanted to take his chance. It would potentially be the last time he faces Kevin De Bruyne. But fourth yellow card of the season for Digne. Right smile, but silly really.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've seen worse challenges go unpunished with yellow cards tonight, but maybe the referee just got to that point now where he's seen a few Villa challenges that were close to being yellow cards in his mind, and he's thought next one's going to be, you know, going to be the booking, and it was Dean, it was the unfortunate one.
Underwood has it just inside his the Villa half, and he sweeps it back to Diaz on the other side of the half.
ผมเนี่ยจะหลับเอาดิสนุปปี้แอดอยู่ไหมอยู่ครับที่ไหนวะ
Dinks it away from
ผมก็จะหลับนะแอดสั้นอัดมัน
one halfway. No real pace to the players ahead of him, no real movement, so he gives it to Diaz who comes forward, he'll switch the play like he did for the goal. In fact, to O'Reilly. He whips a ball in towards Marmoush, always dangerous but can't control his header. Just a bit of pace brought into the play there, Man City, just over a bit of space, decent ball in by O'Reilly. Marmoush not quite early Haaland in the air and over the crossbar.
Yeah, maybe Haaland. Well, actually, he's not that good in the air, is he, Haaland? But he might have still found a way to score that goal. Fantastic cross from O'Reilly, though. He's put it between defenders and perfect for Marmoush, who I think takes his eye off the ball.
น่ารักลูปี้ใส่เสื้อเยอรมัน
his head, not his forehead.
ใช่ใช่
He does O'Reilly.
เรียบร้อยโอ้โหเฮียมามูดไลลี่เล่นดีนะเพื่อน
Taking too long about it. You can see what Man City's plan is. They're letting them play the first pass. Then as soon as he goes back to Martinez, everyone moves towards the goalkeeper. And this time it was James McAtee who almost got, again, right on cue they do it. This time they get it further upfield though to Luca Digne. And now they've beaten the press of Villa. Ramsey inside to Digne, who, well, just wanted too much of it. And well dealt with by Matches Nunes. But you can see the trap City are trying to lay for Villa, and particularly Martinez, you feel. And Kovacic in the centre circle. Guardiola takes over. Again, all Villa players behind the ball. Rashford the most advanced. There he has his own goal. It's a good turn by Bernardo. A good bit of defensive midfield play by Onana, who's then bundled out off the ball. Rashford's going to charge into Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne sees him. Rashford as well got to foul the Belgian as well. There's a bit of edge to this game. Kovacic turns.
เพื่อนเลย7 นาทีนะ
Doesn't switch to the place the advertisement hoarding, unfortunately.
มันลูปี้มันพูดไม่ได้ไม่เหมือนโดเรมอน
Well, 6'4" O'Reilly, and well, Pep Guardiola looks like Yeah, he's just come in from a long day at work to see the kids haven't tied the toys away and the house is a mess.
Well, the game's not really going to plan at the moment. The City are pressing, and that press is ineffective.
แต่สปอร์ตแน่นอนนะเนี่ยเนาะ
You've seen one or two scary moments of Villa, but they've by and large got away with it, and they've also been able to break through City's press and, get at the back four again, which is where City's weakness is. I can understand Guardiola wanting his team to press to try and keep the ball away from that back four, but Villa have managed to get at them quite a few times.
Oh, great ball by Digne into Rashford. The touch isn't quite there. He almost gets it over past Ortega. Bit of a worry for Rashford. He's pulled up there, but great ball by Digne. Rashford between the two central defenders. Neither Diaz nor Gvardiol knew where he was really. Trying to take it with his right boot. Touch took him away from goal, and Ortega, if anything, it was almost like a wall from a free kick. He seemed to save it with his feet as he was jumping, vertically that is, rather than horizontally like you expect from a goalkeeper. Kovac comes
ไปแรดฟอร์ด
Nunez is on
ยิงโอ้โหเย้ยแรดฟอร์ด
He's not offside.
Yeah, it was one of those. He looked slightly offside, but the flag didn't come immediately, so he sort of doubt himself. Just seen this attack from Villa. I mean, this is just a straight 60-yard ball down the middle. How have these three City defenders not been able to stop Marcus Rashford from getting a shot in? And then Ortega is lucky because he almost jumps over the ball. He jumps too early, but at least he does something because the other defenders don't do anything. I mean, Diaz again. He's meant to be a brilliant defender, but he's been awful in this first half.
Yeah, he struggled. Great ball by Luca Digne though. As Martinez now on the edge of his area again, they're just going to go long, straight down the middle. Diaz against Rashford. I know it's funny, isn't it, that it's basics, but these players are often so attuned to working complex patterns that it's the basics that can be
แน่นอนเพื่อน
especially
มันฉลาดแต่พูด
down the middle, long straight balls.
มันฉลาดแต่พูดเป็นคำไม่ได้หอนได้อย่างเดียว สรูปี้ใช่ไหมเฮ้ยแต่จริงๆเพื่อนแรดฟอร์ดเนี่ยเหมือนเกิดใหม่จริงๆนะแม่งเก่งดีว่ะเพื่อนมันจะอยู่ต่อปะวะแต่แมนยูแม่งขายแพงแน่เลยว่ะเพื่อน
The arms, we could see an arm he was looking for it, but you can see Marmoush's arm was.
เราพักหลังวิลล่าแม่งตื้อเยอะด้วยอ่ะ
He gave him the opportunity to go down, should I say, and free kick for Villa, around about 35 yards out wide on the right-hand side, and a nice opportunity to whip the ball in.
I think they will as well. They've seen that weakness in the City defence several times from long throws, from long balls from the back. It's a good angle as well to get it into the penalty area with quality. Tielemans stands over it, and I think they will try and get this one on the head of Anana or.
ผมว่านะไอ้เคสในมาคาเรฟอร์ดอ่ะมันไม่เกี่ยวว่ามันจะเป็นโค้ชเท่าไหนเพราะว่ามันอยู่ที่ทีมมากกว่าที่ทำให้แรดฟอร์ดฟอร์มดีขนาดนั้น
Anana's there, Consopo, Torres, Rogers, Digne, Tielemans are all there. Cameron is a bit short. Same with Matty Cash. A pretty offensive lineup Villa have gone for here. Rashford's low ball is poor. Marmoush, the first man, heads it away. Then McAtee into Marmoush, who will break forward at pace. And no one's really engaging him apart from Rashford.
อร่อยมากเพื่อนปอนเตอร์เข้าได้นะ
Craig Pawson. I thought it was going to be a yellow card all day for Rashford, but it's play on as Torres elegantly strides forward. Thinks better of it and gives it to Morgan Rogers, who's in a better position. He'll switch the play beautifully with his left boot to.
พูดถึงนอตติงแฮมฟอร์เรสต์ก็ไม่น่าเชื่อนะปีนี้มันจะฟอร์มดีขนาดนี้
Flanks for the time being now.
แพ้9 นัดแต่ชนะเยอะ
Into Ramsey, back to camera.
ชนะเท่าอาร์เซนอลเลย
Minutes left of the 45 plus any additional time
to
get it still.
แล้วเพื่อนมามูดผ่าลากแล้วติดเครื่องแรดฟอร์ดมาไม่ฟาวแรดฟอร์ดฉลาดเหรอพี่คเนศผมจะถามหน่อยว่ากล้องผมมันชัดขึ้นป่ะไอ้กล้องที่เป็นกล้องหลักอะกล้องตัวเนี้ยมันชัดขึ้นไหมพี่ผมอยากได้ฟังจากคำพูดพี่อะมันชัดกว่าเดิมไหมผมเปลี่ยนไอ้แคปเจอร์การ์ดเนี่ยมันชัดไหมอะพี่ถ้าชัดบอกชัดหน่อยชัดขึ้นกว่าเดิมไหมนะพี่จากแคปเจอร์การ์ดอันละประมาณ100 กว่าบาทเปลี่ยนมาเป็นอันละ1,500เนี่ยพี่มันน่าจะชัดขึ้นเนาะ ปกติใช้แคปเจอร์การ์ดที่มันเป็นแบบเนี้ย ไอ้ที่มันเป็นสั่งใน Shopee มาอุ๊ย เนี่ยวิดีโอแคปเจอร์ที่มันเป็นแบบเนี้ยพี่อันเล็กๆเนี่ยมันไม่ค่อยดีเท่าไหร่หรอกมันพังง่ายแต่มันถูกไงใช้นี่มาตั้งหลายปีแบบประหยัดเราใช้แบบประหยัดตอนนี้ใช้เป็นกล่องแล้วอันละ1,000 กว่าบาทแต่ก็ยังไม่ถึงอันละไปแล้วกูก็ดินโรเจอร์เปิดไม่ดีเอาไว้เตะมุมเว้ย
comes in towards the back post. There's a Nana with a free header and away by McAtee. Is Craig Pawson going to blow for a foul? Yes, he is eventually. McAtee brave there, caught on the shin. I don't think he'd be anything more. Wasn't Nico O'Reilly who got the last touch? See it again, Nana. Yeah, Nana almost a free header. He hits O'Reilly, I think, square in the face. The effort was going wide. Yes, it's him almost on the neck, doesn't it? And again, just
เรียบร้อยโอ้โหไอ้เหี้ยโอนาน่ามง
Well, yeah, you'd be concerned there from a set piece coach's point of view. You know, they've allowed.
เหี้ยโอนาน่ามงยิมไปชนใครวะชนกันเองหรือชนใครวะ
All right, it was going wide, and O'Reilly was in line with it anyway. But
โอ้โหโล่งๆแล้วอ่ะโอ้ไม่ตรงกรอบไม่น่าจะตรงกรอบเพราะเรลลี่มันยืนตรงนั้นเนี่ยไม่ตรงกรอบ
going to go in behind Conte. The ball doesn't come though, so makes his way back to the right side, the offside line as Gvardio goes left to right. A lovely ball towards Nunes.
เอาละครับเพื่อนจะจบครึ่งแรกแล้ว
Martinez tamely knocks away with his left boot.
ดูทเวลาเท่าไหร่อาจจะสัก3 นาทีเพราะมีดู VAR ไปทีนึงไง
I think as Bernardo plays it wide to O'Reilly, controls. Bowling's not the best, so Nana's clearance isn't even. Matty Cash going to have to do something with himself under the ball, heads it down.
ไล่เลย
As Bernardo back into 4 minutes. There's a bit of a delay on
Guardiola.
the graphic.
วิดีโอเปิดเข้าไปไม่มีไรหวดก่อนลืมเลยนี่ว่าไม่ได้ชาร์จลำโพง JBL
Tielemans to the wrong side of the City midfield. Kovacic does well though. Diaz brings it forward and acts as a blocker, so McAtee can go past Anana. Kovacic doing a crossfield.
นะเพื่อนทดเวลาตีจริงๆด้วยทดนาน
O'Reilly in space. The youngsters here, McAtee not hiding at the moment. Need a bit of end product as again. He's floated forward. Yeah, Kevin De Bruyne. He's not the man providing the assist this evening. He's the one who's trying to break from midfield.
I don't think he likes this role. You know, I think it's a role that's been forced upon him tonight for whatever reason, and he doesn't seem to be playing to his skill set, does it? You know, you want him on the ball, not trying to make third man run into the box like that behind a centre back. He's got very little chance of affecting the game from there.
Yeah, well, you look at the Man City bench players who have kind of thrived in that position of breaking from midfield, maybe Phil Foden. Doku stands out as well, and Jack Grealish, of course, against his former club. Torres' crossfield ball finds Matty Cash, who does well to bounce off Nico O'Reilly. Then was that a foul on Rodgers? No, it wasn't. And City have it now. 2 of the 4 additional minutes have been played. Bernardo falls over himself, then Anana does the same, and City have it again through Kovacic into Gundogan. Bernardo Silva now teases it over the top to Nunes, who's wide. He'll play it back inside to McAtee. Mamouche towards the back post. It's a strong ball by McAtee, and it's too strong for the Egyptian. Shakes his head, he can't get onto it. Goal kick.
Yeah, I think the ball should have come in from Nunes rather than giving it to McAtee there. He just gives the Villa defence more time to set. It's coming in from a sort of more shallow angle, and it's a left-footed player trying to put it in from that side, so it's an in-swinging ball. You know, an away-swinging delivery from the right footer when he had a chance to cross would have probably been better. The Villa defence would have been less set. Who knows? You know, it just felt like the opportunity was missed there by Nunes.
Yeah, Nunes getting a run in the side, but out right back, and he learned very much.
ไม่มีอะไรเพื่อนครึ่งแรกผมว่าน่าจะจบประมาณนี้แหละดูทรงแล้ว
which can't quite be easy. I'm sure he's given plenty of instructions. The Portuguese.
น่าจะจบไอ้1-1เนี่ยแหละ
City right backs last few years. Kyle Walker obviously the main one, and Nunez is doing a very poor impression of him.
Yeah, he ain't no Pablo Zabaleta, is he?
Even João Cancelo,
João Cancelo, and Danilo was pretty good when he was there. We kept Kyle Walker out the side for a season or so, didn't he? That's kind of sums up the campaign that Kyle Walker, I think maybe it was the time to go. Everything comes to an end, doesn't it? But without a replacement, it's certainly not natural. Nunez is be grateful to get the minutes and try and prove himself. He's proved himself there, intercepting Martinez's ball out, but he can't get onto it. Alpo Torres plays a low ball. Villa are really good at working themselves in midfield into space. There always seems to be a spare man. This time it was Ramsey who gives it to Cashew, charges forward. He'll fancy himself against O'Reilly. He's going to take him on. He's still going as well. Gets a cross in. Bernardo stumbles. Oh, just about got a touch. It still falls to Rashford though. Rashford goes down somewhat, hopefully, I have to say. And it's play on and maybe a break for Man City. Marmouche over the halfway line. Half a look at Craig Pawson suggests he won't be blowing for a free kick. And he blows for half time.
เพื่อนน่าจะจบครึ่งแรกประมาณนี้แหละดูทรง
Bernardo Silva put Man City ahead. Marcus Rashford equalising for the penalty spot. Half time, Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1.
Half time at the Etihad Stadium where it's Manchester City 1, Aston
เอ้า
Villa 1.
สวยโอ้โหเลฟฟอร์ด
Marcus Rashford
เอ้า
in the post inside 20 seconds with Ortega beat.
เฮ้ยจานฟาวเปล่าเอ้าเฮียไม่ฟาวเฉยอะไรวะไม่ฟาวได้ไงวะ
Flopped into the back of his own net really by Emi Martinez, but Villa roared back and got another goal via a penalty from Marcus Rashford.
เรียบร้อยครับเพื่อนจบครึ่งแรกแล้วเสมอกันที่1-1
Rashford stepped up and made it one apiece. Pretty even Stevens after that half time. It's one apiece at the
เส
Etihad
มอกัน
Stadium.
ที่1-1ครับพี่น้องครับมาก็ซิตี้นะครับนำก่อนนะนาทีที่7นะครับจากเบรนาโดซิงวานะครับแล้วก็คาร์เลฟอร์ดนะมาตีเสมอจากจุดโทษนาทีที่18นะครับทำให้ครึ่งแรกนะครับเสมอไป1-1นะครับเพื่อนๆพี่ๆน้องๆเดี๋ยวเราค่อยว่ากันอีกทีว่าครึ่งหลังจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นนะ
Flopped into the back of his own net really by Emi Martinez, but Villa roared back and got another goal via a penalty from Marcus Rashford. It was Jacob Ramsey felled by Ruben Dias in the box and Rashford stepped up and made it one apiece. Pretty even Stevens after that half time. It's one apiece at the Etihad Stadium. Half time at the Etihad Stadium where it's Manchester City 1, Aston Villa 1.
จบแล้วครึ่งแรกเดี๋ยวเรามาดูสถิติกันนะเพื่อนๆว่าเกิดอะไรขึ้นบ้างนะครับในครึ่งแรก
Ortega beaten, but it was City who took the lead. Omar Marmouche skipped down the left-hand side, got a lovely ball back for Bernardo Silva, whose effort was rather tamely.
นะครับจบแล้วครึ่งแรกก็เดี๋ยวเรามาดูกันนะครับว่าครึ่งแรกเกิดอะไรขึ้นบ้างนะจริงๆก็สนุกดีนะครับสนุกแบบเบื่อสนุกแบบจะง่วงจะหลับยังไงไม่รู้ใช่ไหมเพื่อนๆอย่างว่าบอลมันเคี่ยวกันทั้งคู่ไงมันไม่แปลกหรอกที่เขาจะนะเล่นไปเล่นมานะซิตี้เหมือนจะเปลี่ยนแผน 4-1-4-1 ด้วยนะเพื่อนเอาเดอะบอลไปยืนเป็นฟอร์นายเลยเพื่อนแล้วมามูดไปทางซ้ายไอ้หน้าคู่ก็เป็นกุโดกันกับเบรนาโดนะเดี๋ยวเราดูทีนะครับว่าเกิดอะไรขึ้นบ้างครับในครึ่งแรกนะเนี่ยครับซิตี้เหมือนเล่นไปเล่นมาก็เหมือนจะเป็น 4-1-4-1 นะเพื่อนนะครับส่วนอาร์เซนอลก็แผนเดิมเพื่อนๆ 4-2-3-1 แต่ลูกแรกนะผมว่าผมต้องโทษมาร์ติเนสเลยนะเพื่อนบอลตรงๆมันไม่น่าเสียเพื่อนแต่เหมือนว่าปัดไปแล้วไปโดนขาตัวเองเข้านั่นเพื่อนซวยไปหน่อยนะสำหรับมาร์ติเนสแล้วก็จังหวะไอแลมซี่นะครับเพื่อนๆโดนทำฟาวล์นะแลมซี่โดนทำฟาวล์มันก็เลยทำให้มาคาร์ฟอร์ดยิงยิงดีด้วยยิงโคตรเนี้ยบเลยแล้วก็ทำให้ตีเสมอไป 1-1 นะครับเดี๋ยวดูสถิติกันนะว่าเกิดอะไรขึ้นบ้างนะครับในขึ้นแรกนะครับก็อัตราครองบอลนะซิตี้61แอสตันวิลล่านี่ 39% นะค่า XG ของซิตี้นี่ 0.52 นะของแอสตันวิลล่าเยอะกว่าด้วยนะ 1.35 โอกาสยิง5ครั้งเท่ากันนะครับซิตี้ยิงเข้ากรอบไป3ส่วนแอสตันวิลล่ายิงเข้ากรอบไป2นะครับเพื่อนๆอัตราการผ่านบอลซิตี้ผ่านบอลทั้งหมด253ครั้งผ่านบอลสำเร็จ 91% ส่วนแอสตันวิลล่าผ่านบอลทั้งหมด159ครั้งนะครับก็ 83% นะในการผ่านบอลสำเร็จก็ส่วนใหญ่จะผ่านบอลในแดนตนเองซะมากกว่า แดนซิตี้แค่38ครั้งเองส่วนซิตี้นี่ผ่านบอลในแดนของแอสตันวิลล่าถึง144ครั้งเลยนะเพื่อนโหดมากใบเหลืองนะแอสตันวิลล่าโดนไป1 ใบนะครับเพื่อนก็ประมาณนี้ครับไม่มีอะไรมากผมว่าครึ่งแรกก็ชมนะเดอะบอยแมนดาโดโควาซิตมามูดคือเล่นดีจริงๆเพื่อนแต่มันจังหวะแบบขาดเกินอยู่ในจังหวะสุดท้ายอะจังหวะสุดท้ายซิตี้ก็ยังเจาะแอสตันวิลล่าแบบไม่ได้แบบไปยิงจังๆขนาดนั้นนะเพื่อนจริงๆแต่กลับกันอะแอสตันวิลล่ากลับมาบุกซิตี้อะยังมีความหวาดเสียวมากกว่าซิตี้อีกนะเพื่อนมีความแบบหวาดเสียวอะแบบคือกดดันซิตี้ได้ระดับหนึ่งอะเพื่อนๆส่วนไอซิตี้อะเขากดดันอยู่แล้วล่ะแต่ก็พอถึงจังหวะสุดท้ายมันก็ยังดูยังไงไม่รู้เพื่อนๆยังดูไม่ค่อยลงตัวเท่าไหร่นะครับทักทายครับพี่ประกิมเอาขนมเสร็จแล้วเหรอพี่อาโน่นะแฟนปืนเอาไงดีครับลิเวอร์พูลแห่ให้เขาแห่ไปเถอะไม่เป็นไรครับพี่เขาได้แชมป์เราก็ต้องยอมเขาดีจริงๆเพื่อน เราก็ยอมอยู่แล้วว่าเขาดีขนาดนั้นไปสู้ได้ยังไงใช่ไหมเพื่อนนะครับก็ฝากพี่ๆนะผมเปลี่ยนในแคปเจอร์การ์ดใหม่นะแล้วก็เปลี่ยนมาใส่ในกล้องโกโปรนะครับเป็น Full HD แบบเป็น60เฟรมนะเพื่อนฝากเพื่อนช่วยเช็คกันหน่อยว่าภาพมันชัดขึ้นไหมเพื่อนภาพกล้องเนี้ยกล้องผมเนี่ยมันชัดขึ้นไหมมันชัดขึ้นกว่าเดิมไหมเพื่อนพี่ๆก็เปลี่ยนจากแคปเจอร์การ์ดอันละ100 กว่าบาทนะเป็นอันละเกือบ 2,000นะเพื่อนน่าจะชัดขึ้นนะผมว่านะพี่ประกิมพี่ว่าชัดขึ้นไหมพี่อาโน่กล้องที่ถ่ายผมมันชัดขึ้นปะจะขอคำตอบหน่อยนะเพื่อนก็ประมาณนี้นะครับครึ่งแรกไม่มีอะไรมากก็ถ้าเป็นคะแนนแบบล่าสุดแบบเรียลไทม์นะเนี่ยครับซิตี้ก็อยู่ที่4นะมี59คะแนนส่วนแอสตันวิลล่านะอยู่ที่6มี58คะแนนนะครับและคนที่ได้เปรียบนะถ้าคู่นี้เสมอกันก็คือนิวคาสเซิลนอตติงแฮมฟอเรสต์แล้วก็เชลซีเพื่อนถ้าเชลซีชนะเชลซีก็จะแซงมี60 แต้มแซงทั้งแมนซิตี้ทั้งแอสตันวิลล่าเลยนะครับเพื่อนๆแล้วนิวคาสเซิลถ้าชนะก็มี62คะแนนเดี๋ยวต้องดูกันอีกทีนะเพื่อนๆว่าเกมมันจะจบยังไง เอาจริงๆอ่ะพี่ประกิมนะครับทำขนมเสร็จแล้วนะขายดีไหมเพื่อนๆพี่ประกิมขายดีไหมครับวันนี้ใครต้องชนะทั้งคู่อ่ะผมว่าทั้งคู่อ่ะทั้งแอสตันวิลล่าหรือว่าซิตี้อ่ะผมว่าทั้งคู่ต้องชนะต้องชนะทั้งคู่เพราะมีผลทั้งคู่เนี่ยดูคะแนนดิใช่ไหมล่ะตอนนี้คะแนนเหลือถามซิตี้มี59ไงแอสตันวิลล่าไม่58ถ้าแอสตันวิลล่าชนะก็จะมี60อ่ะถ้าซิตี้ชนะก็จะมี61นะครับก็มีผลทั้งคู่ว่าซิตี้ชนะก็จะแซงนอตติงแฮมฟอเรสต์ขึ้นไปเป็นที่3ส่วนแอสตันวิลล่าถ้าชนะก็จะแซงซิตี้กับนิวคาสเซิลขึ้นไปนะประตูได้เสียของแอสตันวิลล่าน้อยกว่านอตติงแฮมนะครับมันนัดต่อไปของแอสตันวิลล่าจะเจอฟูลแลมเหรอซิตี้จะเจอวูฟนะครับเพื่อนๆเพื่อนๆเข้าไปแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์กดติดตามให้หน่อยนะครับเพื่อนๆพี่นะครับฝากเพื่อนนะครับเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามไปด้วย สู้กันสนุกกว่าวันนี้เดี๋ยวต้องดูอีกทีหนึ่งว่ามันจะจบยังไงนั้นเพื่อนชัดเจนครับวันนี้ชัดเจนครับขอซิตี้ชนะจบที่บินนี้แหละเจ้าดิพี่ปะกิมนะจะได้เป็นในนี่ จะได้อิ่มหนำสำราญใช่ไหมพี่เออจบที่บินนี้เลยเหรอซิตี้ชนะนี่ยาวๆเลยใช่ไหมพี่ หรือนั้นเพื่อนเข้ามาแล้วฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามไปด้วยนะครับเพื่อนๆรบกวนหน่อยคือเอาไงต่อดีขอให้จบเป็นรองแชมป์ก็พอแล้วพี่ไม่ต้องเอาไงต่อแล้วครับ ขอให้จบลงรองแชมป์ก็พอแล้วเอาจริงๆอ่ะอย่าให้โดนแซงเดียวอะพี่ขอไปรองแชมป์มันก็พอแล้ว อย่าโดนแซงนะไม่เอานะถ้าโดนแซงนี่จบเลยนะแรดฟอร์ดเล่นโคตรดีเลยพี่ประเกมแม่งมากลับมาเกิดใหม่จริงๆอะแรดฟอร์ดเล่นดีจังแฟนแมนยูนี่ดีใจด้วยจริงๆแรดฟอร์ดผมว่ามันไม่ได้อยู่ที่นักเตะแล้วมันอยู่ที่ทีมมากกว่าถ้าแรดฟอร์ดเป็นอย่างเงี้ยบางทีคนที่ใช่มันก็ไม่จำเป็นต้องอยู่ที่เดิมก็ได้เราต้องเปลี่ยนที่ใหม่ก็ได้นะใช่ไหมล่ะหลับตาต้องเล่นแบบไหนถึงจะถึงแชมป์โอ้ยากเหมือนกันนะเพื่อนผมเนี่ยก็จะหลับเหมือนกันผมเนี่ยตาต้องเล่นแบบไหนถึงจะถึงแชมป์วะยากเหมือนกันว่ะพี่แม่งลิเวอร์พูลปีนี้มันมาดีจริงนี่แบบแต่ละทีมก็ฟอร์มตกเลยนะคะแนนน้อยลงนะฤดูกาลนี้เพื่อนแต่ลิเวอร์พูลน่าจะมีถึง90อะดูทรงแล้วการที่จะเป็นแชมป์ได้มันต้อง90อะ90คะแนนอย่างเงี้ยผมว่าใช่แต่คู่นี้เสมอเป็นผลดีครับเชลซีนิวคาสเซิลฟอเรสต์อะจริงๆเพื่อนมาแล้วเพื่อนครึ่งหลังมาแล้วครึ่งหลังใกล้เริ่มแล้วลองแชมป์3 ปีนี่มันแปลกๆนะไม่ได้สักทีทำไงได้พี่ยังดีกว่าไม่ได้เลยอ่ะมาแล้วเพื่อนครึ่งหลังเริ่มแล้ว
over the weekend. Chelsea at home to Everton, so fancy them to get 3 points against an improved Toffee side, but one that might already have hit the beach. As it's one of those. It's that time of the season is all so tight. It's all about not losing, but a win can make such a difference.
Yeah, well, I think we'll see both teams go for it, but it's a question of who can get that vital edge in the final third. Another good long ball forward, looking to seek out Morgan Rogers actually in the centre forward position. He goes out in the heat. The two defenders challenge his referee, so nothing wrong with that. Although he was 50 yards away. Craig Pawson. Play continues. City have it now with Bernardo, just in front of the back four. Brings it into Villa territory. Villa holding a high line now, about 20 yards outside the box. City go back to Kovacic, who had an excellent first half, I thought. Constantly involved and prompting things to midfield. So did O'Reilly, who's popped up on the left again now, approaching the edge of the box. Lays it square to Gundogan. His chip pass out to the right is not great. Floated. Sends Nunes backwards to collect. He looks for a 1-2, but telegraph that one, given away to Ramsey.
Oh, Rogerร้องจะเอาฟาวอ่ะ
He fires it back to to Diaz, and now De Bruyne. Belgian plays it square. It's walking pace from Manchester City at the moment. Guardiola, short ball to Kovacic. Kovacic sticks his backside in and just.
แล้วฟอร์ดเหมือนปารีสก็สนใจอยู่นะไม่ใช่
Gundogan square ball back to De Bruyne. Now Kovacic again.
ไปแล้วกิ้วจริงๆเลื่อนโอไลลี่เนี่ย
He plays it square to Bernardo. City just passing it in front of Villa at the moment, who are holding their shape. Now Rogers comes out to engage. Kovacic just slipped it beyond Taylor-Mons again. Now they've broken into the edge of the penalty area with Marmoush. Marmoush's foot not quite good enough to quickly slip it onto O'Reilly's boot, and he goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah, there was just a moment there where Gundogan got the ball 20 yards out, left edge of the box, and a few years ago you would have thought you would expect him to curl into the top corner, but he didn't. He went wide, and it was a poor ball to Nunes, and that took the momentum out of City's play. They were playing in front of Aston Villa again. So well set up. I agree that Kovacic has been City's best player. It's a bit telegraphed at times because they're always looking for Marmoush.
Yeah,
แต่ก็ไม่แน่เหมือนกันนะครึ่งหลังมาซิตี้อาจจะได้สักประตู
We saw one in the first half from Kovacic, but they just coached to play the next pass. You know, the goals, you know, the percentage of goals don't come from shots from range, do they? They come from worked balls into the box, and that's what they're looking to do. So anyway, that's what Gundogan did. Didn't quite come off as now City are defending, but there's a foul on Gvardiol by Rogers as he heads it away. It's going to be a free kick to Manchester City. Villa disputing that one. There's a few players over to Craig Pawson saying that was a generous decision for the City defender.
Yeah, so I think might be a bit of frustration from Rogers as well, back at the Etihad, having come through the City Academy. He's quite got into the game so fast. Poor ball by Bernard, but he gets away with it.
Yeah, Diaz was on the scene to clear downfield, but Villa have won it back through Kamara. He points Cash to go forward and tries to play it into the Polish fullback, but Gvardiol was there first and knocks it back to Ortega. City build from the back again with Kovacic to O'Reilly. Rogers going to have to get back here. O'Reilly can travel with the ball, and he's got past Rogers. Rogers is fighting, hand-fighting, and he gets a foot in, and he's fouled O'Reilly. That'll be a free kick to Manchester City.
Yes, and the yellow cards for Rogers as well. It was 1, 2, 3 times in the end, wasn't it, for Rogers? No stranger to a booking. That's his 9th of the season.
Yeah, you just know the referee wanted to give that yellow card for what Rogers had said to him after the previous free kick, but he was in a bad position, and it was a yellow card because he was dragging back O'Reilly, who can really move well when he gets on the ball. I mean, his first touch was great there. He took the ball away from Rogers, and he moved very smoothly through the years there to get away from Villa wing. Anyway, free kick to City. 5 minutes gone. 1-1 on the score. De Bruyne leaves it for McAtee, who sends it in towards the penalty spot. Man at the far post was almost in on it before a despairing glance behind from Onana puts it behind for a corner.
It's fabulous that by Onana. It's an amazing ball by McAtee. It's exactly where you want it if you're attacking it. He just drops it in, almost as if he measured it to fall on the 6-yard box. Onana going backwards to so well. I think it's his left boot. Not a clean contact, but an effective one out for a corner.
Corner to be taken by De Bruyne on the City right. As Gvardiol and Diaz appear in the penalty area. O'Reilly's a tall target as well. And it goes from De Bruyne towards the near post, headed on by Gvardiol, and then over the bar from O'Reilly, who was under pressure. The referee actually says that's going to be a corner. It was to come off a Villa defender.
Yeah, it was Matty Cash with the last header, and again, good defending. His body shapes towards his own goal. He flicks it over his own shoulder. Really good bit of play by the Villa.
He's got a blade of grass right in the middle of his forehead as a result of that header, I think. Now De Bruyne getting applauded by the other side of the Etihad Stadium as he goes across to take the corner from the City left. Be a right-footed in-swinging delivery from the Belgian. And it goes near post, headed away by Onana. City pick it up and send it back to De Bruyne, who's now on the edge of the penalty area, coming in off the left. Puts a left-footed ball in, which is again dealt well by Onana, who puts it behind for a corner.
Yeah, Onana heading it behind. He was in a bit of a difficult situation there, wasn't he? Because it was never going to be a great ball from his Belgian international teammate, but he had to clear it, and another opportunity for City.
Yeah, I just wonder if they'll try something different. A lot of the corners have been pretty samey for Manchester City, all towards that 6-yard box. And it goes towards the back post this time. It's an easy claim for Martinez, and he's looking to roll it out now and catch City unawares as Kamara carries it forward. City players push out. Rashford was possibly offside. He comes back to gather the ball, but the flag stays down, and now Marmoush does well in a tight area, knocks it back to McAtee.
Poor play that by
The
Rashford.
referee stopped the game here.
Sorry, it was poor play that by Rashford because he was
จัด
offside.
มา
That's
ซิ
why
ตี้ครับ บา
Kamara
ซ่า
kept
ยัง
hesitating.
0-0 ใช่ไหมพี่
Rashford just wasn't getting the
โอ
right
เค
side of the line.
ผมเนี่ยจะหลับเอา
Luckily
ดิ
again, as we see,
เพื่อน
a bad one really by Gundogan. Martinez
ๆบาซ่าเหรออ๋อบาซ่าเสมอ 0-0 บาเลนเซียเสมอเอสปันยอน1-1 เสมอกันหมดเลยเว้ยทั้ง3คู่เดอะบอยกับโทนี่โค้ชใครสุดกว่า คนละแบบพี่ แต่ถ้าเป็นเรื่องการโฮดดิ้งอะโฮดดิ้งโทนี่โค้ชก็โหดกว่าจ่ายคิลเลอร์จ่ายแบบการโฮอ่ะจ่ายคิลเลอร์พาร์ตอะไรเงี้ยโทนี่โค้ชก็โหดแต่เดอะบอยจะโหดแบบการยิงการแอสซิสต์แบบลูกเหนือธรรมชาติเพื่อนๆเดอะบอยเป็นแนวนั้น
an area that needs to be looked at. There was a couple of those in the first half where it was they weren't going to look at it because it wasn't a red card, but it would be a yellow card
โอ้คนละแบบ
if the referee had seen it.
แต่โทนี่โค้ชมันยืนระยะยาวได้มากกว่านะพี่หรือว่าโทนี่โค้ชคืออยู่ทุกแชมป์ยูฟ่าแชมเปี้ยนลีกที่3 สมัยติดก็เป็นโทนี่โค้ชนะโทนี่โค้ชโหดคนละแบบกัน
Did really well, but he slipped a couple of occasions. I could get back to the VAR thing, probably on the soapbox now, but we saw from Kevin De Bruyne's corner kick moments ago the ball wasn't in the quadrant. Would VAR be right? Can't VAR just have a word in the referee's ear to say he needs to? Can you ask before he takes it, get him to put it in the quadrant in case the goal is scored? Just like little things.
เหมือนมันต้องการเอานักเตะซีเนียร์เปลี่ยนไมซ์เซ็ตของนักเตะให้หมดไงเดี๋ยวไม่ใช่ไม่ถูกหรอกเขาเล่นด้วยกันมา
Just telling Bernardo to calm down as he plays it to him there. No pressure on him, so he's able to turn. Gets it back again from Diaz. Doesn't see a great deal of movement from Marmoush or McAtee, who are the two furthest forward. Plays it square to Kovacic. Back to Bernardo. Anana's all over him, and he's won the ball apparently unfairly. According to the referee, I didn't see much wrong with that from the Belgian, but free kick to Man City nonetheless.
Yeah, I thought Bernardo did well. He just arched his back. I think he knew he was in a bad position, did Bernardo. He needed to win the free kick, and Anana, he's got the momentum in the challenge, but he catches Bernardo first.
Nunes plays it square to the edge of the box. Now De Bruyne trying to dribble away, puts a deep ball into the back post, and cashes underneath it.
ปีหน้าก็เชื่อว่าลิเวอร์พูลก็แชมป์ไม่แน่หรอกมั้งพี่เหมือน
He's been in good goal scoring form, strikes against Palace and Everton recently, but I think he was hoping it was going to come a bit further away from where he just has to adjust his starting position there. Right, he goes laterally away from the left-hand side, hits his shin. To see Haaland and Ruben Diaz.
Rodri.
Yes, Rodri, of course. Well, Dean, you might think wish he was in the stands with that. Passes it straight out for a corner kick.
Yeah, to City's injury. Two of City's biggest stars sat in the not quite cheap seats. Their team win a corner from Dean's sloppy play at the back. So we'll see if De Bruyne can get this corner right. I've got to say O'Reilly's impressed me with the way he's drifted away from Rodgers several times tonight. He's being marked by Cash at the back post now on this latest set piece. And it comes from De Bruyne, and it's headed. Oh, it's knocked on the near post. It comes deflected off Kamara behind the corner.
Yeah, came to Diaz. Right almost for the Portuguese. He takes it with the instep rather than his legs. He's trying to place it rather than power it past Martinez. Let's have a look against the last touch. It's Kamara. And it's not the cleanest of contact from Diaz, but decent opportunity nonetheless.
Yeah, probably the best corner that City have played tonight. They've all been fairly similar, but that one does actually result in a shot of some description. Ball to the back post, trying to pick out Marmoush, who strikes low and scuffs it wide.
Yes, but another corner kick because the last touch came off a Villa player. Had that really bright opening 15 minutes.
แต่มันพีคอยู่แค่ไม่กี่ปีอะพีคอยู่ประมาณ2 ปีเองอะปีนี้กับปีที่แล้วยังไม่ค่อยเท่าไหร่ปีที่แล้วอ่ะไม่เท่าไหร่เลยอะแต่ปีที่ได้แชมป์เนี่ยดูป้าโหดจัดเลยแจ็คกิลลิตอะ
Diaz is trying to highlight himself inside the penalty area again. The way the ball's been placed there by De Bruyne does not look like it's even close to the corner quadrant. Diaz
Mahmoud
still back post. Cavadiel's trying to make some room. It's straight at the goalkeeper though.
ซิตี้บุกยับเลย
claim for Martinez, who's looking to release quickly again, but just doesn't see an option this time.
Yeah, there's a couple now that Martinez has taken unmarked, if you like, easily with no real competition. I thought it was a good ball in by De Bruyne. The first time he's really whipped one in underneath the goalkeeper, but no one's attacking it for City.
No, and Villa building from the back now with Concert to Kamara. Kamara with a bit of time and space, goes square to Paul Torres. Now Kamara again, he's in trouble here. He's got 3 City players around. He manages to work it forward towards Rodgers. That's a lovely first touch of Rodgers, and he gives it to Tielemans now. And now Villa can break out of their shackles down the right with Cash. Cash, bit of a loose touch, but he manages to haul it back in before knocking it back now to Kamara.
เล่นเร็วไม่ได้
First City press. They're going to have to try and play through it again here with Kamara, who's wrestling with Marmoush on the sideline. He wins that 50-50, and the ball breaks to Rodgers now, who's looking to take on City defenders. Goes down, wins a free kick. Kovacic and Gvardiol were the 2 players around him. I think it's Gvardiol has been penalised, as Rodgers starting to really show what he can do now when he dribbles with the ball.
Yeah, that was lovely, wasn't it? Just a swivel of the hips, and Gvardiol just untidy as much as anything on Rodgers there. It was also Kamara having the confidence to take
เอาแล้ว
on his own.
อาร์เซวิลล่าจะสวนบ้างล่ะ
Entirely confident, but he knew he had a yard. I think on Kevin De Bruyne to skip past the Belgian and play it away. Villa have obviously planned their substitutions and what they plan to do, because it looks like Disasi, McGinn and Donnell Marlon might not be too far
อ้าว
away.
เฮียบอลยังได้อยู่โรเจอร์ไปแล้ว
Austin
เออ
McPhee,
ฟาว
the set-piece coach, is now out.
วาดิโอฟาวไปดิ
Signal to Yuri Tielemans is going to take this free kick. Approaching the hour mark at the Etihad Stadium, still 1-1. 7-minute goal for Bernardo Silva, levelled via Marcus Rashford's penalty midway through the half. Since then, it's been deadlocked. And now Tielemans with a chance to get this ball in the box with quality. Plays it in low, but it was well read by McAtee. The one-man wall does its job, and now Tielemans goes past McAtee into the penalty area, darting away. Can he get a cross in low towards the near post? It's covered by Gvardiol, and City should clear now through De Bruyne. Here's Marmoush, who takes on and beats his man from deep. He's running now against Amadou Onana, but good challenge comes in from Concert. That just about wins it, but then it falls to De Bruyne. De Bruyne now, chipping it forward, looking for McAtee. Great first touch, McAtee going for the chip. Over the top of the goalkeeper and wide. Big chance there. McAtee did his best to try and make a wonderful moment for the City fans, but he couldn't quite get the chip in the back of the net.
Yeah, left-footed player who's always curling away from goal. Good play by De Bruyne. He's too quick for a Marcus Rashford. Looks like he might have pulled up there. He's onside, is McAtee. Played on by Matty Cash. He brings it down with his right and looks to chip it over the goalkeeper.
เอาแล้วเพื่อนซิตี้จะสวนแล้วมามุดว้ายไม่มีอะไรแล้ว โอ้โหแรดฟอร์ด
ingenious, but yes, we're going to see at least a couple of changes with
เดอะบอยเอา
McGinn.
เรียบร้อยโอ้โหเหี้ยเอ้ยไม่ตรงกรอบแมกาตี้
Maybe saving his legs for the weekend.
โอ้ยเอ้ยยิงอย่างสวยอ่ะ
Played Disasi with the right back, and Ramsey, who won the penalty, but was replaced by McGinn.
ต้องชมเดอะบอยเลยเมื่อ
Fresh legs on the hour marks.
โอ้ไม่ล้ำด้วย
Planned couple of changes that from Unai Emery coming as did pretty much on the hour mark. So McGinn on and picks up the captain's armband straight away. Villa with a goal kick after the McAtee effort that went just a fraction wide. Best effort of the second half so far. Paul Torres picking the ball out to Disasi, who brings it down on his chest, looks backwards, finds Kamara, low ball into the path of Rodgers, who holds it up well.
เปลี่ยนตัวแล้ว
Turns away from Gvardiol, but just outnumbered there. Gvardiol finding De Bruyne back to the Croatian. And now approaching the edge of the box with De Bruyne again, loose touch from him, allowing Rodgers to get a foot in, but he's fouled De Bruyne. He's got to be careful, he's on a yellow card.
I would think my next change would be to take Rodgers off there, because that was a foul born of frustration, because he didn't get a free kick moments ago. I'm not quite sure whether it was or not, but that definitely was. That's the type of challenge that if you're not on a yellow card, you get booked for, I think. And Craig Pawson looks in, might just have had a word with the young midfielder.
Yeah, I think you're right. Good sort of decision at this point would be maybe to take Rodgers off at the next available opportunity, but City have a free kick, and we saw a really good one flighted in by McAtee from a very similar position last time out, but it looks like Kevin De Bruyne is going to take this one. he's placed the ball. He looks more engaged as he looks up into the penalty area. Actually, he's not even looked in the box, and so it is. Sent in by De Bruyne, headed away by Torres. Villa will clear, then it falls to Kovacic, who hits a snapshot, and Martinez had to be alert to grab that one.
Yeah, second shot on target of the evening for Kovacic, following that run and shot from the edge of the box in the first half. It's similar to Diaz, really. It's hip high. It's just awkward for the Croatian, but good technique, strikes it down into the ground, but we'd expect Martinez to save.
Villa on the attack now with Rodgers picking it up from Tielemans' pass, plays it forward towards Rashford, who's got pace to burn. He's in here behind the defence, and there's a chance for a tight angle. The side netting from Rashford. It was a brilliant run from him. He just lacked the finish. The City defence couldn't keep up with him.
Similar to McAtee, he's always in the wrong side for a right-footed player. Brilliantly worked again by Aston Villa, really. The Manchester City defence, it's such clever play by Rashford because he's not allowing himself to be marked. He's just basically standing still between Guardiola and Diaz and coming into the game whenever he actually wants to. Great run forward, just couldn't find the finish.
Yeah, he looks like he's meaning business tonight, Marcus Rashford. That was a fantastic run from deep in a central area to a wide position where he just got the pace to burn to get away from Diaz, and then Ortega came out, didn't really do a great deal to stop his progress. From a tight angle though, the side netting was all he could find. So goal kick to City, and what's happening here? They're just taking the time.
They are taking the time, and Bernardo Silva wants to take it himself because I think he's going frustrated
ไอ้ฟอร์ดยิงโคตรน่าเข้าเลยเพื่อน
basically the lack of action.
ไอ้ฟอร์ดโหดจัดไว้เยือนซะไม่ได้เลย
Short. Kovacic turns it round the corner to Diaz. Diaz a little stutter step and then chips it down the line towards De Bruyne, who brings it down pretty well. Has he quite got the pace to get there now though, and Dina's across to cover and hits it into Rosed. I don't think Kevin De Bruyne is going to finish this game. I think he's one that probably will come off at some stage in the proceedings. We never know.
Not like the short of options with really Stocku and Foden amongst those on the bench of Vino as well, who've barely mentioned, so plenty of depth to call upon.
Here's Marmoush, who had a great first half, but he struggled to make an impact in the second period. Now he's just fouled after giving he's fouled a Villa player after giving the ball away, and that's a free kick to the visitors. James McAtee, of course, will be hoping to play in the FA Cup semi-final this weekend. Of course, he was prevented from playing against Manchester City for Sheffield United on loan a couple of seasons ago. With Tommy Doyle was the one, wasn't he? The two on loan Sheffield United players who couldn't play in that game. But now he's a fully fledged City first team player. And now Villa work it out from the back to Dean. Comes off Bernardo's boot and goes out for a throw. Phil Foden not warming up at the moment, he's just watching on from the second row of the bench, the third row actually. Dean with a throw in, goes centrally, but it's well read by Kovacic. Then McAtee with the next header. Good tidy work there from Tielemans. Kamara getting his foot in, getting the backside in, but then losing out to Kovacic. Then Tielemans is in there, ratting around as well. It comes back to Bernardo. Lovely little lofted ball to O'Reilly, who moves down the left again. Now linking up with Marmoush. 65 minutes on the clock, still deadlocked at 1-1 in this crucial clash with major Champions League implications. Top 5 get into Europe's elite competition. City looking to seal out. There could be a chance here. Oh, and McAtee's missed his kick. It was again a brilliant delivery from O'Reilly. The Villa defence was static. McAtee got there, but then it's completely made a hash of the effort.
Yeah, fabulous ball by O'Reilly from the left-hand side. Picked out by De Bruyne. First time O'Reilly drifts it in. Maybe it's half a yard behind McAtee, but he thinks he should score. Perhaps agree. Runs onto the ball. He gets ahead of his man. Like you say, he takes it with his left boot. The ball runs underneath his striking foot. Let off for Aston Villa.
O'Reilly again, he's doing so well down his left-hand side. He's man of the match material at the moment. Knocks the ball infield to Gundogan. And now to Bernardo Silva. Out wide to the right for Nunes. City just slow things down again. But they are creating chances. And it's O'Reilly who's creating a lot of them. He gets the ball again, puts a whip ball into the back post, and it's scrambled behind by Onana for a corner.
Yeah, third clearance in quick succession by Villa players going back towards their own goal, and Onana's got two of them. That's a good pacey ball again by O'Reilly. Gets his head up, does the right thing, doesn't see any obvious options, so whips in and makes Villa make a clearance.
So De Bruyne again to take this corner. I think we've hit double figures for corners now for Manchester City in this game. In front of the linesman, so this one will be placed in the quadrant. He's got Diaz and Gvardiol lurking back post with O'Reilly again. O'Reilly constantly wincing whenever the cameras pick him out. Like something's in his eye. Ball goes in near post, headed over the bar by Gvardiol, who got underneath it.
Yeah, I wonder if he's got maybe an allergy to the grass or something like that. It won't be the first player.
Hair product in his eyes, I think.
Perhaps, yes, as Gvardiol, not the first City player, and I think not the first time he's done that. Just been getting ahead of the ball, trying to hit it towards goal and not finding the target.
Villa from a short goal kick, played out quite well to Disasi, the on-loan Chelsea man. Goes inside to Kamara, ball forward towards McGinn. McGinn gets his first significant touch and turns it out to the left now to release Dean. Dean looks up and looking to head a ball into the channel for Rashford, who's drifting far post. Gvardiol covers it, heads it clear. Rashford will collect though just outside the box. He's faced up with O'Reilly. Rashford stuttering, threatening to go past O'Reilly, but now he can't nutmeg him. And City win the ball now. Coming away with it is Kovacic. He almost gives it away to McGinn, who snaps into a challenge, but the ball falls out to Ortega, who can pick it up. And we've gone past 3/4 of the game. It's flown by. Still 1-1 at the Etihad Stadium. To take you through to full time, it's going to be Jack Oakley.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. It's still to make a change, Pep Guardiola. And she's got a decent bench. Bruno Emre's made 2 of them. Disasi and McGinn coming into the play. Gvardiol will give it to O'Reilly. Disasi will come across to him, the Frenchman. Played in the World Cup final in Qatar, didn't he? For a very short space of time, but he'll always have that one to fall back on. Shows O'Reilly back to Gvardiol. Mamouche was almost through there, but they went to O'Reilly instead. Elegant left-footed player. Strokes it back to Gvardiol now. Kovacic has been his best player this evening. Gives it to Gundogan. Now back to Gvardiol. All of Aston Villa's players behind the ball. Kovacic overplays it with De Bruyne. Well cut out by Onana. And now Rashford, Tielemans was taken out off the ball, and Rashford will have to do it all on his own. He's looking up, looking for support. Diaz wins the ball, but at the expense of a Villa throw. Right about level with the edge of the City box. Tielemans got a sore one in back play. He's reaching for his right ankle. It's a yellow card against Josko Gvardiol. He's probably been coming for the Croatian. He's had a few run-ins with the referee so far, and we're seeing that one again. It's a wrap around the ankles, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a foul. It's a painful one for Tielemans, and he's trying to stop a counter-attack, so the referee's probably right in giving the yellow card.
Yeah, second yellow card of the season for the Croatian. 20 minutes left, 1-1 if you just join us, unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Bernardo giving Manchester City an early lead before Marcus Rashford equalising from the penalty spot for a foul on Jacob Ramsey. Disasi lines up for potential long throw, but he's got Morgan Rogers short, who's something to think about. Disasi is not a great throw, it was a foul throw. His foot was up, but play on. Kamara, left-footed ball over the top. It was drilled rather than chipped towards Rogers, who had the back pedal, couldn't quite do. The idea was there, just not the execution.
Yeah, just maybe, I don't know, just not a great sort of little sequence there from Aston Villa, but they've gone with the high press here to try to catch City out.
Yeah, they have. Reminder as well, Arsenal against Crystal Palace available on this service tomorrow evening, another 8 o'clock kickoff for that London derby. Gvardiol fizzes forward to O'Reilly, really growing in confidence. Forget playing in midfield, Nico, if I was you. Left back, brilliant. As Diaz comes over the halfway line. O'Reilly again is the spare man down the left-hand side. Just looks so comfortable and confident when he does get it. Kovacic decides not to give it on this occasion. Gvardiol right in the middle of the pitch, 35 yards from the Villa goal. Plays it behind De Bruyne, who's shadowed really by Onana, his international teammate. Now Gvardiol with all the City outfield players in the Villa half. Kovacic fizzes it towards O'Reilly, who got in behind Morgan Rogers. He thought about grabbing hold of his shirt. The ball was just too strong, and O'Reilly, well, he kept it in, but a tame cross. In fact, it may have gone for a a goal kick. Jeremy Doku's going to be Manchester City's first player to be introduced.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it 10 minutes ago now, but I'm not sure why Unai Emery can't see what we can see, and that is that Morgan Rogers has got to come off. He's on a yellow card, and he's marking Manchester City's most dangerous player, who's constantly getting the better of him at the moment. It's just a disaster waiting to happen.
Yes, it is. As McAtee has it, he's had Manchester City's best chance of this second half. Missed kick, 6 or so yards out. De Bruyne back to Bernardo Silva. Kovacic is the spare man in the middle of the park, but Adam misses him out and goes to Oscar Gvardiol. And Riley again, right on the left-hand side. Kovacic has it, opens up towards Nunes. Chance to cross, he cuts back onto his left boot, switches the play towards O'Reilly. It's a good ball, he heads it back in. Gundogan controls, he goes back to Marmouche. The Villa shirts converge on him. And surely one of them got the last touch on it, not according to referee Craig Pawson, who suggests the Egyptian dragged his effort wide. Good ball, I thought that by Nunes. Good ball as well by O'Reilly, who's nodded it back in. Gundogan back to Marmouche, and I'm not quite sure who got the last touch, but it's going to be a goal kick, and it's going to be the end of James McAtee's evening.
Yeah, he's done all right. Obviously, the chance he missed a few minutes ago blotted his copybook slightly, but I think his overall contribution's been positive. And Doku obviously will look to play a slightly different way. You know, he's a pure dribbler, isn't he? He'll create havoc in a very wide area, whereas we've seen McAtee coming inside a lot and obviously popping up in the penalty area pretty centrally to try and finish off moves. Well, Doku won't do that. He'll be looking to stay very, very wide.
Yeah, wonderful to see a more central role for Marmouche now as Marcus Asensio prepares to come on for the Villains. Long clearance by Emi Martinez, headed down by Nunes. Doku's going to get his first touches against Disasi. Gets tight, the advantage being played. There's a foul in there according to referee Pawson. Vardio comes forward with it. It's towards Diaz. Again, heading towards a quarter of an hour to go, and you wonder if Asensio has been lined up to empty the tank for 15 or so minutes. In another potentially premeditated change as Gvardiol works it wide to Doku. O'Reilly's gone inside Doku down the left-hand side. He's got Morgan Rogers with him. He whips into Gundogan. Can't get there. Rogers will try and take it away. Kovacic is making life difficult for him. I think that's going to be a Manchester City throw on the halfway. Rogers can't believe it, but it did look like he got the last touch. We're going to see Ollie Watkins come on as well. Excellent against Newcastle at the weekend. A sub again this evening. Made no secret of his frustration at that situation. He's going to replace Marcus Rashford, who's, I think played really well as a central striker this evening.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's hit the post, he scored his penalty, he's created havoc from deep areas. He's put a real shift in as well, we saw him moments ago, closing down City defenders, and that's just seconds before he goes off, so he can be really proud of his performance, I think.
And Anna's going to be replaced. He's not happy about it. Still waiting for... Rogers is going to stay on. Marcus Asensio. McGinn will drop maybe one spot deeper, and Asensio going to a more attack-minded role. No, in fact, of course, Tielemans, who'll play in a position he often plays in central midfield as Nunes waits for the ball, goes into his path. Marmouche has gone down the right now, and Gundogan is the most advanced Manchester City player. Diaz strokes it to Gvardiol, the halfway line, and he plays a terrible ball out on the full towards Doku. He's been able to control it there, the Belgian. Been work cut out to get it out of his feet and do anything with it. Disasi will take the throw level with his own area. Back to Concert, back to Martinez, and back on the 6-yard line to Torres across his own goal. Not really pressing for Manchester City at the moment as Tielemans receives in his 18-yard box, then back to Torres. Playing out from the back, or trying to Villa. Dean got lucky there, Tielemans, he miskicked, and then a foul by Nunes as McGinn got away from him. Yellow card, it looks like, for the Portuguese. No real excuses, I guess.
Well, you could have given it for the it's a foul. It's a rugby tackle by Nunes, and that's definitely a yellow card. But then City kicked the ball away as well. So inconsistency. Well, I suppose giving 2 yellow cards in the same incident there would probably just wind up the home fans even more. But definite time wasting there from City, or definite gamesmanship kicking the ball away at the free kick.
4th yellow card of the season for Nunes. City not doing a great job of clearing it, as Asensio takes the ball away down the right-hand side. He's got Rodgers down by the corner flag. He manufactures something, and Bernardo Silva nods it back to O'Reilly, who wasn't really expecting it. Just hoists it away towards Conte on the halfway line. Now Torres has got Digne making a decent run down the left-hand side. He wasn't quite tracked by Marmoush. Let's have a look at Manchester City out of possession. Not quite sure what the formation is. It seems to be Kovacic, not too many else in midfield.
This is how they've been all season, isn't it, really? In key moments of games, they've got far too defensive and off balance. They've got 5 across the back here. This is like Manchester Derby when they were winning the game until very late on, and somehow found a way to lose it by being too defensive. And it seems like they're just giving the initiative away to Aston Villa now.
Yeah, Tielemans is dropping deep, McGinn's pushing on, and Bernardo's tracking McGinn. And that's giving Tielemans space. McGinn turns, gives it to Dean on the left-hand side towards the back post. Comfortable though for Ortega, who's been quiet, so I had little to do in this second half. He bowls it out to Bernardo, gets the ball out of his feet, goes over the halfway line. He's got Marmoush to his right-hand side, needs to find him. He doesn't. Great play by Luca Digne. Kamara tidying up at the back. Almost a nervy moment for Conte there, but Pau Torres helped him out, and Tielemans just plays a sensible ball to Luca Digne. 11 minutes left of the game. It's 1-1. It's unofficial off-tube studio commentary. On a knife edge, really. Both sides looking Champions League qualification for next season, but also looking to build momentum heading into the FA Cup semi-finals at the weekend. Watkins has got the wrong side of Diaz, wide on the left-hand side. McGinn's looking to help him out. Rodgers in the box, so is Asensio. Digne on the overlap, the ball's behind him. He has to check his run, he'll give it back to Watkins. Do you need to make sure he's on side? He is on side. Watkins again, McGinn. Bit tight for Aston Villa, so McGinn goes back to Pau Torres, who's 30 yards out. Now Conte, freedom the Etihad, deciding what he wants to do. Torres drills it into Rodgers. The ball's not great from Rodgers.
No.
Gundogan into it. Now De Bruyne. Kamara's got the wrong side. De Bruyne will try and look to Doku. Doku's got the pace to get in behind Disasi. Disasi steadies himself. Doku, though, gets into the box. Onto his right boot. Can't get it out of his feet. De Bruyne on the 18-yard line. There's men queued up at the back post. It's going to be Kovacic. No, it's going to be Gundogan. He's not going to take the shot. Marmoush, he's in space. Has to be 2-1. Finishes smartly. Looks towards the assistant. Suspiciously in space. Of course, they'll have a look at it. 10 minutes left. It looks like it's still going to be 1-1.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But they were very, very lucky there, Aston Villa. They pushed out just in time. Yeah, they have. He's just a half-yard offside, Marmoush. Good finish, but it won't count, I don't think.
Yeah, almost 7-7 in home games since signing for City for Marmoush, but not to be. Disasi almost playing everyone on side there, but got out just in time. The Frenchman, Emi Martinez, is taking his time, shall we say, and still not taking the free kick. Eventually a little 1-2 between himself and Pau Torres. No real press from City. They want him to play out by the looks of it, but he's happy to just stand and wait and see what comes, really, is Martinez, experienced goalkeeper. As mentioned, the winner of the last 2 Levy Ashing Awards. Eventually spreads it to find Digne, who, well, must have been fouled by Bernardo Silva, because it just seemed to fall to the floor, but Bernardo didn't really complain. Digne down in slow motion, but a free kick just inside Manchester City's half. He goes back to Pau Torres. Comes forward in from Tyron Mings at this evening. He's not involved at all. He was being rested for the weekend. As McGinn, was he fouled in midfield? Yes, he was. Bernardo, the guilty party.
Yeah, histrionics there from Bernardo, disputing the decision from Craig Pawson. Got to be careful. I mean, it's a blatant show of dissent there.
Yeah, we're going to see, and it's a blatant foul as well, so it's not great all round as they try and take the free kick. Quick to Villa. Dean is trying to get in round the back, but Nunes was marking the run. Goes out for a goal kick. Still, Manchester City haven't used Jack Grealish. Still, they haven't used Phil Foden. Still, they haven't used Savinho. There are attacking options that not getting the football they want at the moment, and lacking inspiration are the citizens. Jeremy Doku is the only change they've made in this game, and maybe Watkins could be in here. Plays it past Ortega. I think he must have been offside. Yes, the flag was there. It was somewhat half-eyed finish from Watkins, suggesting he knew he was offside, but it was a free header from Disasi, and yes, he was 3 or 4 yards off. I just kept going there because it was a 50-yard header forward from Disasi, and he almost picked Watkins out. You see the body language of the Frenchman.
Yeah, I mean, it's Watkins' own fault there, really. It's a bit of a lazy run back, isn't it? You know, he's not anticipating what was a great header by Disasi.
No, he's not, as Disasi fouls Doku on this occasion, so a free kick to Manchester City just inside their own half. 7 minutes to go. 1-0. Get some late drama. Manchester City on to walking pace as Guardiola visited across to Diaz. He'll stroke it back. Guardiola again to Doku. O'Reilly's almost got out of the game a bit with Doku coming on, because Doku loves to play so wide. O'Reilly's gone inside. It's a switch of play. Nunes keeps in, trying to nod it to Marmoush, asking a lot. Picked up by Villa and McGinn. Nunes, though, gets the ball back off the Scot, and De Bruyne. There's a few options. He'll give it to Nunes. De Bruyne. It looked like one of those trademark moments where he whips his right boot round the ball and crosses it. Bernardo's had one of those evenings, miscontrols, and lunges in. You think he might not be too far from a yellow card. Eventually makes amends somewhat as he blocks McGinn rather's attempted ball forward.
Yeah, we're going to see Daniel Marlon now. I think he's going to be the last change for Unai Emery. It just feels like City have handed the initiative to Aston Villa in the last few minutes. You know, whether it's through maybe strange substitutions from Pep Guardiola, or just you know, this is a team that aren't used to, you know, they just naturally fall back in these situations, and they're given the big opportunity. Well, they're given a huge opportunity for Villa to win this one for me.
Yeah, they can just get a forward ball right, Villa, because we just saw then it was forward this time by Pau Torres, and Asensio was unmarked running through. Diaz has gone down. There's a collision between himself and Ollie Watkins. There's a yellow card for Watkins. Kovacic and Bernardo are surrounding the referee. Diaz is throwing his arms up in the air, suggesting it was an elbow. We'll have a look again. Matheus Nunes, well, Diaz pretends he's not blocking Watkins, but we all know he is, and Watkins just kind of runs past him and throws him aside. Just a bit petulant all round. I feel a bit sorry for Ollie Watkins actually in that situation.
Yeah, all defenders do it, don't they? They're trying to just give the goalkeeper an extra second or so by blocking the run of the closing down player, and he was doing it in such a fashion that, you know, it probably annoyed Ollie Watkins a little bit. He has lashed out at him a little bit with his hand. The referee at least has been consistent with the yellow cards on that, because anything like that has generally been punished.
Yeah, Daniel Mallon has come on for Morgan Rogers, who's been walking a disciplinary tightrope, but hasn't picked up a yellow card. Will be free to play at the weekend. Bernardo's, I think, may have picked up a yellow card for dissent, because the camera's focusing on, yes, 7th yellow card of the season for the Portuguese. Again, Manchester City play short from the back, and Mallon was almost on to Gvardiol there. It's back to Ortega, the goalkeeper. Go low looking for Doku, but Disasi's going to win those ones all day. Concert loses out to Gundogan, who's passed towards Marmoush is short. Digne picks it out, and then he picks out Marl as well, who controls it. Will get into the box, try and play the ball across the area, cut out by O'Reilly. But a corner kick to Aston Villa. Oh, Gundogan, the ball should have been in front of Marmoush rather than round Digne there.
It wasn't a hard pass either. You know, there was 40 yards of space. It's a one-on-one. You know, you play a better ball there, you're giving your man a great chance to run in behind the fullback, and he just didn't play a particularly good pass. It made it easy for the defender to read. Great recovery run though by O'Reilly at the other end to stop the cross from Marlon.
Yep, he's been excellent. Asensio prepares to take this corner kick, and in swinger with his left boot. It's a decent one, but away by Gvardiol. Marlon lines up a shot from the edge of the box. Kamara got in his way. Decent effort in the end by the Dutchman through the bodies. Ortega falls onto it and then bowls the ball straight out. Nunes can bring it forward. What a story it would be after a difficult few months for him. Adapt to the right back role. If he can inspire potential Manchester City victory. Kovacic, he's been excellent this evening. 2 shots on target. Thought about a third, went wide to Nunes. Gundogan's in the box, as is O'Reilly, as is Marmoush. He just has to slow down. He will get a left-footed ball in the area. It's not necessarily a bad one. McGinn heads it away. O'Reilly's just too tall for Marlon. Yeah. Gets over the top of him. There, nods it to Doku. Kovacic will float it towards the back post and Nunes. Digne wins it ahead of him. Who got the last touch? All eyes on the assistant. It will be the Frenchman who gives it away, and a throw. Nunes to take it back towards Bernardo. He sweeps it wide to Gvardiol, who sets himself in a central position. Will give it back to Bernardo in the inside right spot. Thought about the cross, thought better of it though. Now Nunes. Kovacic is in space. Whipped in by Diaz. It's well away by Concert. Thought he was pushed. Yes, he was by O'Reilly. I think Concert probably got himself in a good position there. Felt the contact, went down. He had headed it away. It's an opportunity to maybe take a few more seconds out the game for Villa. O'Reilly has half a look towards the technical area. Pep Guardiola in no mood to make any further substitutions to the one he's made in bringing Doku on.
Yeah, I found his substitutions a little bit strange tonight. I don't think they've necessarily made the team better. I think the introduction of Doku has potentially stopped O'Reilly's attacking threat. O'Reilly's continued to play well, but he hasn't been able to get those balls in from the left that he was creating chances every time they got the ball out to him. Doku's done nothing since he came on, and O'Reilly's subsequently done nothing in an attacking sense since coming on. So Guardiola has made his team worse with that change. Yeah,
maybe Doku on the right, play in front of Nunes might have been more handy. Nunes could then invert from that full back position. It's also easy, isn't it, from where I'm sat there as
he's got plenty right in his career, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
built up a bit of credit.
He's not there by accident, is he? As Nunes throws it back to Bernardo, who hammers it clear, but Kamara's just too good for Gundogan, and that's evidence there. But eventually it comes to O'Reilly. Malin does well. Angles the ball out for a Man City throw in their own half, though. Unai Emery is bounced up and down on the edge of his technical area. The throw taken by O'Reilly. Half a look towards the fourth official. Just seeing a start, Villa conceded 7 times after the 90th minute in this season, the second most, only behind Southampton. 5 minutes added on. Diaz into Kovacic in the centre circle. He looks up, assesses his options, thinks Doku's the best one down the left-hand side. Dizassi goes to challenge him. He does well as the Frenchman. He played it against Doku, but he got the last touch. Throw is not taken by Doku or Kovacic. O'Reilly comes across to take it. No urgency or impetus really for Manchester City again. Kovacic going backwards and backwards, and eventually towards Ruben Diaz, who's got fellow Portuguese Masters Nunes ahead of him. Goes back to Stefan Ortega, who just stumbled, maybe hesitated. He's going to play the ball. Didn't worry for him there. Diaz goes forward towards Gundogan. Concert wins it ahead of the German. Again, it's Diaz who picks up the seconds. Gvardiol wide to Doku. O'Reilly making potential run towards the back post. Doku cuts back inside. Gvardiol, central position. All of the Villa players behind the ball. As Manchester City go laterally. Bernardo wants to go vertical. Goes past one man, but gives it to Nunes, who goes back to Diaz. Now De Bruyne has been quiet. Nunes again. Tries to shift it so he can whip it in. Gets past McGinn, does really well. McGinn gets back. Corner kick there, Manchester City.
Yeah, they've had plenty of these tonight. They've not all produced the efforts on target or even efforts on goal, but you just wonder, maybe with the time now ticking away and being such a key moment in the game, whether De Bruyne can come up with a perfect corner.
Yes, has a look. The assistant has a look towards the referee to suggest maybe they have looked at that quadrant ruling there. It would be an outswinger. Diaz, O'Reilly, Guardiola, jostle position on the penalty spot. He's played in without any real pace, and that's to Diaz's detriment as he does win the header, but he's angling back and he can't generate the speed required as Martinez has picks out the air.
Yeah, I mean he's been held round his waist by Taylor. I guess he just let go in time there, not to incur the referee's wrath or potential penalty there in the stoppage time would be catastrophic for Villa.
Yes, 2.5 to go. Bernardo puts City ahead. Rashford equalising on the quarter of an hour mark on the penalty spot. Nunes wins the Villa clearance. Bernardo hooks it away. Digne only plays it out for a throw. Nunes wants to get on a bit quickly, but there's a foul by Tielemans on Kevin De Bruyne, but it's an advantage being played, but it wasn't really an advantage, in my opinion, because City had to go backwards rather than have a free kick 30 yards from goal.
Yeah, the referee didn't see it. He's watching the throw-in to be taken. The linesman probably had his eyes on a different bit of the field, so actually nobody spotted that, and so it's just a bit of an incident that couldn't be punished.
Doku's got past Disasi down the left-hand side, touches the best, he gets in the box, a cross goal to Alice Nunes! Nunes has done it, it looks like, for Manchester City. The first time Doku's got the ball out his feet, he drifted past Disasi. And the villain so often at times, even in this game, matches Nunes. A wonderful finish from a tight angle.
Well, there you go, that's why he's Pep Guardiola, because the substitution of Jeremy Doku was the right decision. He's absolutely skinned Disasi. I mean, it's looking like a bit of a mismatch there, isn't it? He gets the ball out of his feet, just scoots past Disasi, puts a lovely ball into the back post. I think Martinez could do better here. I think you could probably lay the blame at Martinez for not cutting out this cross, but it's a great finish at the back post from a tight angle by Matheus Nunes, and he needed that goal, didn't he? And it's probably the winner.
Yeah, neither defender nor goalkeeper. He knew whether to come for it, I think, for Villa, and then everyone was out of position. And Nunes is coming for so much stick in recent weeks. Diverted it past Guardiola. Great wing. It's a poor touch by Doku, actually, but it sets him up to just get past Disasi outside the right foot. Great ball, and he just steadies himself. It's really good play by Nunes. He's been criticised even by his coach, but he shows good football intelligence just to take half a step almost backwards to ensure that he doesn't get ahead of the ball, and he means that he can aim towards the far post and, like a golfer, fade it in off his target.
Yeah, slightly scruffy finish, but it doesn't matter. He got it on target, and Aston Villa will rue their missed chances tonight. They've had lots of play. They've not been able to really work Ortega in the second half, and it's come back to haunt them.
Yeah, Man City up to third as things stand. Villa still seventh. Newcastle play Ipswich at the weekend. Chelsea at Everton, of course. Nottingham Forest, Manchester City and Aston Villa all in FA Cup action over the weekend. Manuel Akanji is going to come on replacing Kevin De Bruyne. We have played 5 additional minutes. Guardiola still urging his team on. They've been poor tonight, haven't they, Simon? But it looks like they're going to get the 3 points.
I mean, I think it's been a forgettable Manchester City performance, to be honest. I think Aston Villa have done okay, but at the key moments they failed to challenge City as well. It's just been, I think a draw would have been a fair result. Nobody would have complained, but City have got that decisive moment in the end, and it probably is going to be not quite good enough to get them into the Champions League as things stand, but it's certainly a huge shot in the arm for their top 5 hopes.
Yes, ball goes forward by Kamara. Watkins there offside. Guardiola wants whoever takes the restart to hit the corner. It might be Nunes. He'll take his time over things there. Looks like he'll be the match winner from the Wolves and Sporting. Man, Ortega is going to come some distance to feint and then give it to Nunes. He and Diaz will debate who's going to take it. Craig Dawson tells them to get on with it. Watkins isn't 10 yards, but he's standing aside, so Diaz doesn't have the excuse to play it at him. Diaz floats it towards Marmouche, and Digne Neva has to challenge because the full-time whistle has gone somehow, some way. Manchester City have moved up to third, a 2-1 win over Aston Villa, an
สวัสดี
unlikely
ครับพี่สวัสดี
hero,
ครับ
Matheus
ผมมา
Nunes,
หลับมาดิ
makes a difference for the citizens.
โอ้ยหลับเฉยเลย อย่าเพิ่งหลับครับ หลับประจำเลยผมเอ้าเยสซิตี้นำเฉย
Our
เลย
next
เพื่อน
football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to
ๆ
be
เรียบร้อยนะ
involved.
เพื่อนจบ
Don't
แล้ว
forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play
เรียบ
betting
ร้อย
opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match?
เพื่อนๆก็ซิตี้นะครับเพื่อนๆชนะไปแล้ว 2-1 ก็ได้ประตูจากนูเนสนะครับนาทีที่90+4เนี่ยจะเสมออยู่แล้วนายซาวิลล่านะจะเสมออยู่แล้ว
Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals
เพื่อนๆก็ฝากเพื่อนๆกดไลค์กดแชร์กดฝากกด Subscribe ด้วยนะเพื่อนๆผมหลับแล้วนะพี่เราพัด
Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy
งานเพื่อนฝากกดไลค์กดแชร์ฝากกดติดตามให้ด้วยนะ
while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities.
ฝากกดติดตามกดไลค์ด้วยวันนี้ไปละนอนพักผ่อนดีกว่าเพื่อนๆไม่ว่าอนอนแต่พรุ่งนี้ผมทำงานต่อไปก่อนนะเพื่อนๆพี่บ๊ายบายฝันดีครับบ๊ายบาย
Our next football commentary match is